Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the call-in show here this evening. Let's have a good time. Let's rock and roll. Good to see you. How you guys doing? I be here just watching from Xbox. Welcome, Don. Welcome, Slime Ball. Welcome, Gators 15. BP. Third Advisor, boys. Let's get it. Let's have a good show. Let's hang out tonight. Let's talk some college football. Love the fuckboy hat. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep it fresh. And it's Combine Day. I feel like the bucket hat just kind of translates into the Combine. You know what I mean? Like it makes sense, right? I feel like I'm on par here with what we got going on here. So feeling good, looking good, playing good. We got an NFL Combine today that happened. We had some good stuff. Austin Armstrong's already working. It is the last call-in show before football starts again. Okay? I feel like I was talking with Cody today from FS Fanatics, and it says we were talking about how football season is getting shorter, and the off season seems to be getting shorter and shorter, which I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I think it's great. Gives us something to talk about, get excited about. Obviously, Monday we've got some football starting. So go ahead, give us a call. We don't bite, okay? Only when it's kinky. Links in the description. So let's call in. Let's start the show off right. I need some energy coming in here, okay? And let's get rock and roll. Sean, why are you not going to the Slab Olympics? Can you explain? Explain. Also, too, saw a clip today. Hit it with the eye rub real quick. Sorry, boys. I saw a little clip today where it talked about they had interviews, and all the coaches, I guess, a few of the coaches interviewed all the quarterbacks back to back to back. And Anthony AR, former Florida Gator quarterback, had the best interview of the quarterbacks this year and possibly going back to last year. That was what was said. That's not my quote, not my words. Just saw it there on the tweet, on the bird. Okay. Look, that's a big one there. Okay. I think those interviews speak more volumes than we realize. Even Dan Campbell came out and said, look, I'm here to see, how these interviews go. I'm here to talk to these guys. I want to meet these guys. What's going to be coming into my locker room? I'm telling you guys, I've been preaching this, and things are just trending in the right direction for Anthony Richardson right now in the NFL draft. It's unreal. I love it. It's exciting. I feel like we're going to kick ourselves as Florida fans, like a Dameon Pierce situation. Like we had that. What the hell? But situation, didn't really work out for us. But we will see. Rowdy check came through. We will see Saturday how he performs. I don't know if you guys saw Nolan Smith today, the edge. Knees to chest today, boys. 4.39, 40-yard dash. Knees to chest. Absolutely sending it. Okay? Had one of my Georgia buddies text me. I said, let's just wait. Hope he doesn't get arrested. Okay? So, obviously, there's still time. There's still time. That was a joke. Just JK. No need for us to get canceled over that one. Corey Johnson, yo, what is going on, man? Welcome to the stream, boys and girls. Look, this show doesn't work unless you guys call in, okay? Then it's just my dumb ass sitting here rambling on. We do that on Wednesday, okay? This is the show that gets you guys involved, brings you in on this, bringing in some ideas, bringing in some fresh thoughts, okay? That's what this show's for. So if you ain't calling in, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Brandon says, yo. William says, AR was always protecting himself for the NFL. Could have been. Would have been. Should have been. You know what I'm saying? Also hit the like button. Good call. Did you graduate from MIT? Did I? Seem like a smart guy. It's possible. I mean, why else would I have an MIT hoodie, BB? You know what I mean? Like, you don't just rep an MIT hoodie for, like, fashion. You know? Yeah, look, I would love to see AR absolutely crush it and go first round. My pops and I, we have a running bet right now. I told him that Anthony was going to go first round draft pick. He goes, no way. No shot. Did you watch the games that I watched last year? I did that. I did. However, you're wrong. And he goes, no way. And we argued about it for like 10 minutes. I go, let's just settle the debate here. If he goes first round, you pay for golf next time we play. He goes, bet. So then the day I text him, hey, Dad, remember I told you that AR was going to go first round? He said, yeah. I go, I lied. He goes, oh, yeah? I go, yeah, he's going first. I should have doubled down. If he goes first, I was like, hey, look, I should get 2 rounds. Papa Stokes, what's up? How you doing, man? He's going to be ready? I couldn't agree more. I think he's been dialed in for a while now. He's ready to go. Look, it sucks that we're not going to see Bryce Young. Obviously, all this, hoot and holler. We've been talking about him, and now we're not even get to see him at the combine. But we will get to see Anthony Saturday from 1 to 8. Have to make sure that we obviously talk about that because that's going to be a big one. The news of David, Mr. Soderquist joining the family went absolutely berserk on Twitter. That was kind of cool to see. You guys went haywire. So we'll see. Gators, the Billy Napier got us. Y'all just relax and enjoy the ride. Did you guys see the interview with Gervon Dexter? Talk about Billy, where he goes, not a lot of guys were kind of bought into him. He had a lot of, he didn't say that. Excuse me. I think he said something like he had a lot that he had to deal with last year, and he's going to do good along the roads. Look, what does Gervon get from saying that? You know what I mean? So that'll be interesting to see. Andrew says, I got to do some stuff, and then I'll call in for a Linky update. Love that, Andrew. Give us a call, baby. Let's get it. In Napier, I trust. Bryce is going to be crushing the NFL. Another Tua. I think Tua's had more success than I think Bryce will. You know what I mean? Let's call in, boys and girls. Links in the description. How about the college rules here? Let's talk about that for a minute. That's kind of been a thing that's been stirring around. Do we think that it's just propaganda? Because it's a proposal. Right? None of it all has to be voted on. Is it just a propaganda to have people talk about college football? Do we think that's what it is? No? Could I be wrong there? I know one of the rules is that basically they're getting rid, or they want to get rid of first down, the clock stopping like it does now. I'm okay with that one. Translates to the NFL a little bit better. That's fine with me. The weird one that I'm not a big fan of is incomplete passes. Once the ball is set back to the line of scrimmage, the clock will start. I understand they want to shorten the games, but I feel like that would just, we're talking like it's probably about 3 hours and 15, 3.5 hours now. That could cut off a whole hour of the game. Right? That seems a bit much. I was talking with somebody today about that. It's like, look, we get excited for Saturdays to watch the game. I don't think a complaint of the game being too long has ever been a thing for football. For baseball, it's always been a complaint because baseball is just a slow game, and it really isn't that long. It just feels long. But football, have we ever complained about it being too long? And the player safety, I don't understand how shortening the game. I guess a longer time for you to get injured, I guess, is their play. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. It just feels like if it ain't broke, why fix it? Oh, here's a good article. I just need it broken out. Okay, so outlawing consecutive timeouts. This rule will prevent one timeout from being called right after another, which often happens as a team tries to ice kickers. Consecutive timeouts. So, how many times have we seen somebody go timeout to ice a kicker? Does that happen more often than I realize? That doesn't make sense either. Usually, they'll ice a kicker once, right? But I've never seen it go back to back. You can't ice a kicker? You don't think so, Steven? Oh, look at this. Papa Stokes ain't playing games, boys. He said, guess what? It's coming. I love it. Rulemakers haven't had a winning season from their home teams in a while. Oh, great question here by BB. So, Shelton, you want 4 3-hour games or 6 2-hour games on Saturday per channel? I feel like that's a math problem that I'm not ready to solve just yet. Because I don't know what to say. I don't know how to answer that. Like, if every game starts at 12, it's not like if now they would have to do 12, 2, and 4 for that math to make sense, right? Like if we got all the games starting at 12, 3:30, that right? Am I crazy here? Like, that doesn't make sense. I think B being like, we need to go back to the drawing board. Like that I don't think that's how that works. I could be wrong. You can't call 2 consecutive timeouts. Oops, where'd that go? Without oppositions talking one also.
Scared money don't make money,
My biggest issue was no longer extending a first or third quarter for an untimed down if the quarter ends on a defensive penalty. The down would be clocked starting the next quarter. Yeah, don't jump ahead of the rules here, Steven. Okay, rule number 2, not extending quarters. This rule could make it so that a first or a third quarter would not be extended for an untimed down if the quarter ends on a defensive penalty. Okay. And then the 3 running clock, according to this rule, clock will continue to run after an offensive gains a first down, except inside of 2 minutes and a half. Which again, why that just it just feels you're adding layers to things, right? At work, when we play games or roll a new rule out, we try to make sure we simplify it. You know what I mean? And I feel like you're just creating more chaos with this, just more things to think about for the coaches. It's weird. And then this measure is considered the most controversial. Will have the clock continue to run after an incomplete pass once the ball has been spotted for play. Like, that is just absolutely insanity. One reason college football games run longer than NFL games is because of the first down rule. That makes sense. In the NFL, the clock runs after first down, while in college, I'm okay with that. That to me is fine. I honestly, the first down thing has always been really weird to me. I've liked it, but it's kind of been that separator from college to the NFL. So I get it, right? Kind of like the 1 foot in bounds. I'm also on board if they wanted to make you put 2 feet in bound. Like, I don't know. I kind of get that it is separation. You want to have a little bit of different rules. Again, I think college has the best overtime rules ever. The NFL should adopt that, but they won't because they don't want to seem, childish, I guess, with adopting a college rule. But getting rid of the first down thing, I'm okay with. Again, it's fun. It's a unique rule because, again, it plays into, what you're trying to accomplish. But I feel like none of these rules that we're talking about here move the needle for the success of college football, for the health, which what they're proposing for college football. Again, it feels like it could just be propaganda to just to have people talking about college football. I mean, we do it anyways, right? But let's see. So you like that? That's interesting here. I like the NFL where you score first and it's over. That's not the rule anymore, though, Jordan. I believe you get a chance to score now. So if somebody goes down and score, they do get a chance to respond. Am I mistaken there? I'm pretty sure that rule got changed after the Kansas City Chief thing. I hate that rule because that would be like in soccer, right? When you go to the penalty kicks, the first team to make a kick wins. That's kind of how I look at it. It's do or die. It's like you just played a full 90 minutes to decide it on one kick. Seems a bit much. Oh, shit. Napier, damn sure about that. Bad time management now. Oof, did not get my notification. Well, you're here now, Abby Mac. Why don't you call in? Bro, I feel like YouTube be hating on us sometimes. You know what I mean? Doesn't it be letting the people know that we're live? It'd be like that, Says Jordan, that rule and the new overtime rules are one of the reasons I don't like the NFL anymore. That's what put you over the edge, LFGM. I think, honestly, guys, LFGM is still upset because the Mets just suck continuously. That's my thought. Boys and girls, you got to call in or this show's not going to last. Just being honest with you. It's called a call-in show. Okay. Where the people run the show. And I'm just the vessel. But yeah, I don't know why love the hat. Got to get one. It's one of a kind, honestly. I think my brothers might have them too, but so it's 3 of a kind. But I grabbed it and the wife goes, "What are you doing?" I goes, "I'm feeling frosty." Soccer doesn't have such. Hockey does, don't they? Yeah, but hockey's a little bit different, in my opinion, to where scoring is not as easy. Right? Like scoring in hockey, I mean, when you're doing penalty kicks in soccer, like if you miss, it's like, wow, how did you miss that? You know what I mean? Like you can miss, right? But like hockey, is it like that too? Are you sure hockey's like that? What's the number? The link's in the description, Jordan. Literally, it's on the screen. Animal said, "I like the look." Thank you, Animal. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. And we've got the SEC tournament next week for basketball, then March Madness. Who likes some March Madness? Unfortunately, you know what sucks is I'm a big March Madness guy. and I live here and obviously in Florida, and March Madness is not as popular as it should be in Florida. I remember growing up as a kid, I worked at Publix, and we would obviously, buy groceries. And then when March Madness would come around, the branding for everything would be all March Madness and the Coca-Cola cans, whatever it may be. And it'd come through, and I get the Coca-Cola, and, I'm trying to make small talk there, not to lose my job. And I go, hey, like, who do you got for March Madness? I go, what is that? Like every other client. And then finally somebody would come through, and they're from up north, and like, oh, love March Madness. You know what I'm saying? The link's not in there. Oh, shit, that's on me. We're talking shit. Idiot. Whoopsie. All right, link's in there now. Leave me alone. I was wondering, bro. I was like, why is someone calling in? Fuck. And it was, I love March Madness. Good. I love it. I love March Madness. Good. You working at Publix Deli, Elliot? Let's go. The deli is an animal of a place to work at Publix. Buddy Connor, who you guys see in there too. That is that's a hellhole of place of work. It's like literally the worst department to work in at Publix, in my opinion. Like bakery, the move, bro. The move. Unlimited cookies. You're swiping a couple of whipped cream scoops every now and then. I worked in seafood department. Little brutal, but it's nice and frosty back there, so you don't get like sweaty and gross. You do smell a little fishy, like your mom, but that's not too bad. And then I worked in stock, which was obviously always a good time. That's a good time there. So March Madness is great to see Kentucky lose. It is. I agree with that. Jordan, what's up? That old Joe's there in his work truck.
Yeah, dude, I had the electrical panel caught fire, so I was a little late to the show. And then I was actually on the phone also with the what's his name? The guy that does the custom signs on wood creations.
Yeah. You getting one?
Yeah, I was on. Well, we're working something out. Okay, we're just hustling along.
They're pricey.
Maybe a little.
He does.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out a little sponsorship deal.
He does a good job though. I want to get one. I just don't know where I'm going to put it. You know what I mean? Like to where it would be visually seen. Because the live sign's pretty sick, but
you pay that much for something and you want it in there.
Yeah, it's got to be. So, but they're sick. I got to get one eventually. Like, there's no way I can't not get one. I mean, I feel like I have to.
Yeah. So I was kind of talking to him about a sponsorship deal for the show. So, sorry, what were we talking about tonight?
Well, we got some new college football rules. We were going over our thoughts on that. Feel like it's propaganda. NFL Combine, AR doing a great job with interviews, and then it's our last call-in show / week before college football is. Would you say it's officially back? I mean, I feel like it's officially back. We're gonna start getting some clips to practice.
Yeah, I kind of wait till the spring game to say that we're back.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fine.
Since you're kind of in deeper with the Gator program than I am, those videos that they were doing during the season, and it would have like little clips of the game, and then it would have like the locker room speech at the end. They need to do more of that.
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't. I don't know, like if they're not allowed to, but yeah, I mean, again, not a lot of like. Think about it, right? Like that first game obviously was a big game. They get a W. They lose the next game. Probably not too many good clips you want to post from that game. I think the following game was USF. Not a great win. Probably don't want to post clips from that game. Right? So, like, I thought about it too, but I was like, if you think about it, the first 4 weeks weren't really the most exciting after game one. So it's like, what are you going to post? But yeah, I agree. I think from fans, and look, I mean, what we're seeing, just how social media is evolving, we want more of that. Like, just give it to us. Like,
yeah, man, we'll eat it up.
Eat it up. Buy it up. I mean, it's easy.
How long until you think there's going to be a show like they do for the NFL for minicamp?
Oh, shit, that's a good one. What's it called? What's it called, guys? What's the show he's talking about? They did it with the Lions this past year. Oh, gosh.
Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks. That is a great. That's a good.
They should do that during spring, especially with the transfers and everything.
Yeah, you should start a podcast, Coach. That's a banger idea to think about.
I know I should probably.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. I don't know if they would do that. If there's somebody, well, I mean, hey, so technically, Coach Prime did it with the Amazon series. That was a version of it. If honestly, it was. It followed him, right? It was about him, but it was 100% like that same type of vibe. But if what I was gonna say was, if there's anybody who's gonna do it first and be willing to put themselves out there, it would be Coach Prime.
Yeah, I didn't watch the Coach Prime one yet. I'll watch it. But I want it more of a format of the way that they do it over there, where it's like, it's more of, like a transfer coming in. He kind of tells you the story of why he's there, and then you always have like the heartfelt fan favorites.
That's just how the Prime was. They had certain players they followed.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'd like UF to do something like that. I mean, you don't do it during the season, obviously, but do it for spring practice. I mean, you're really not working on the playbook all that much. You're not going to give up details, and then you just wait for, send it out like what the NFL does.
Maybe I make a pitch to Jen at the collective and go, hey, what's up?
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Those kids would make, jersey sales would go up and everything, and people need to know their name. I mean, every time you interview somebody, it's like, man, I want to buy that dude's jersey.
I don't know why you're yelling at me about it.
I'm not yelling.
No, look, I hear
I'm just saying.
That's the stuff that I be preaching all the time to Jen, and it's just like, I don't know. I mean, she obviously has rules, and the collective have rules they have to follow. Billy probably wouldn't be a big fan about that, because I've asked her, hey, can I come and follow somebody around and get like a life of the Gator? Like, just let me follow them around. If obviously I can't show everything, I get that. We'll cut it out, but dude, like, we got some fun, man. Like,
the workouts,
it's right there. Yeah, and why not build the brand? People will eat that up. I mean, every single time you have an interview with a guy, I'm like, oh, there's another jersey I got to buy because I like this kid. Yeah, you like him. You get to know him a little bit. Scott says, didn't we do him with Urban? Gosh, I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Shoot.
Possibly.
There's a lot of cutout with that team. I guarantee it.
Ricky wants to know what you're eating, Cody.
What am I eating?
Yeah, you're always snacking.
Tonight, dude, I've been on them Weathers caramels. I get a bag every night. It's bad. You can't just eat one.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're meant to like just to suck on. They're not like a snack, like a Mike and I kind of thing.
That and the fruit snacks.
Oh, those are good. Animal says problem with recruits thing is that everybody would know who they are targeting. I mean, look, that's what you would obviously cut that.
They
stuff
do that
out,
already. So. Lagway had all his visits on the YouTube.
That's true.
That's not that big a deal. And you don't. We're not saying where.
J-Dog. Hey, look at that! J-Dog just became a member. Let's go, baby.
Hey, there it is. Grow the family.
Welcome to the fan base, dog.
Shoot, just like that.
I love it.
No, but you obviously don't give them all access, but I mean, give them the early morning grinding videos with Coach Hawk, grinding it out.
Plenty of free material that you could throw out there that would get the fans fired up. And like you said, I think it's ticket sales isn't the issue, right? It's getting guys to buy these kids jerseys. It's getting them to know the kids more, because during the season, right, we get 12 games to learn them.
That's it. It's a flash.
Outside the big name, like we obviously Montreal, Kamari, like we're used to these guys, right? We're expecting these guys to come in, but there's gonna be guys that kind of pop on the map, and we're gonna learn to love them, right? Like Skewy Williams, he's gonna be fun. Wingo, I've met him, awesome personality. Sucked that I didn't get to have him on the show. Shamar James, got a chance to talk to him. So when you get to talk to him, right, it's cool to get to know them more. And again, those are just one more. No, they take photos. We get photos every now and then from Florida Gator Twitter. To me, what's the difference? But just making a couple of clips, even if it's just like a 60-second TikTok, right? Just clipping.
And you know that, you know that the Florida has probably a pretty good program that already does that. That you have, I mean, essence free work. You got the cameras, you got the kids taking the classes. I mean, why not do it? They're failing. They're failing us.
I agree. I'm cool.
You need to get on to Jen about that. And then,
It's not
and then
her. I
another
don't think
thing
it's
with
her. I think it's more of the school allowing them to do certain things. That's the issue.
why is it so hard to get signed merch from these guys?
I don't know.
Man, if I was a kid, I'd be going to Elon Musk.
Sure.
They'd have to be getting me a robotic hand. I'd be signing so much dang merch.
What was cool is my neighbor. We've been talking about doing trading cards and stuff like that. And he bought a little pack of cards, and he had a Keon Zipperer, a signed Keon Zipperer card, which was kind of cool. Like he just pulled it randomly out of a pack. I was like, that's kind of sick. Like just to think like, and there was a couple other guys. I think Bijan Robinson he had too, but it was kind of cool.
Yeah, man, they need to get on that because Gator Nation will eat it up, and not just for Gator Nation, for all the schools. They're slacking.
I bet Saban's the last person. Animal says, what do you think of Ike Hilliard becoming the new wide receiver coach?
Looks like if he becomes the new wide receiver coach, I will be sitting in my chair and watching every school wide receivers that he's coached at again. So there's that.
All right, Coach. I got a few people waiting in line, Bubba. Let me go ahead and get to them. I appreciate you calling as always, big guy.
Be good.
Later, Terry. All righty. We got Joanna Purry.
I'm sorry.
Like if Jack Frost was a zesty Edgar, get your song rewrite Victor from Despicable Me if he was in the Upside Down. What are you talking about? You got a urine standing.
All right. What's up, Elliot? Big dog.
Lord.
What's up, big fella?
What's up? Can you even see me?
Yes, but not like you're just like a picture. You're just frozen. Links in the description, Animal. I can hear you though.
My car hates the. I'm gonna try to get back in. Let me just disconnect. I'll be right back.
Okay. Bye. Well, boys and girls, don't know what that was. People obviously trolling. Good time. Love it. You know, I had a feeling when I saw it, I was like, I've never seen that name before. I don't know what they said. They probably felt pretty good about it, though. Yeah, Animal, you can call in too, Bubba. Links in the description. Or give us a call. Let's have a good time. But yeah, I like that thought process. Hard Knocks college football life. My goodness, we would love it. Cold Mac Clips, I roasted you. Okay. Really, you stuck it to me, big guy. What's happening, Nix? What's going on, big dog? I don't think anybody even knew what you said. Cold Mask Clips, if I'm being honest. There we go.
All right.
Yeah, now we're cooking with some gas. How we doing, big dog?
Yay, technology. Woo! My car.
What's up? You're not
apparently, and whatever streaming system. I'm not in Oahu anymore.
You're not happy about my comments about Jarrett Gibson?
Dude, what the hell, man?
Oh,
Can
it's
we talk about
really delayed.
I got to get this off my chest. You know what though? I watched your clip and I felt a little better because if DJ's not like championing this kid, maybe you're right. Maybe it's just not a fit, but the optics are terrible. The optics are terrible, people. You can't be a 5-star. You're a 5-star recruit, the number 1 recruit in the state of Florida, and you're a running back, which is a position that we highlight now at the University of Florida. And you're going to go to Texas. Okay. 1 + 1, I guess, equals 3. I don't know. I don't get it. Unless it's a money thing, right?
So that's what we talked about as well, too. And I remember when he came to Gainesville, he took a picture with like a Bentley and stuff and kind of in front of the school. And people were even saying, then this guy, he's big on the money, which when we say that, we don't mean that negatively. That's just kind of like where his focus is. But like I said, if you kind of just watch how things maneuvered when he visited, there was a lot of articles about him. I'm pretty sure 247 had him pinned for Florida. It wasn't crystal balled. It was just projected to go to Florida. And then as soon as he left, all the noise went away. And I don't feel like unless Florida would pull their name off the table, that he would just automatically dump us. And I was talking about this today with Cody. If Florida pulls the hat away, they're not going to come out and say anything, right? So we would never know. They're going to allow the kid to do that. And for him, for how he was basically at Florida, having a good time, he was already committed to us. The only reason why he decommitted was obviously the coaching change. He said, Florida's always been home. I'm going to go visit. And then a week later, he gets crystal balled to Texas. Like, Texas wasn't even on the map. It was between Tennessee, I believe. Georgia, I know, was an option. Bama. I think Texas was obviously part of it. But it just...
Well, so that's, that's why I was happy to hear you talk about. That is the benefit of having you talk to all of us, because you get to talk to the players and sort of get a pulse. But I'm still on the whole money thing. At some point, the NCAA is going to catch up with my analysis that I did, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago, which, by the way, I don't know if you saw that the University of Miami just got dinged.
Yeah.
And I was like, I told you that about Rashada. You can't pay a player to play. It doesn't work that way. And that's what all this stuff is. Like God bless him if he's going to Texas for the money. But again, at some point the NC2A is going to come in and they're going to be like, so explain to me how this isn't paying to play. Let me get this straight. How about this? If this contract were pulled, would you still be at Texas? If the answer is no, it's pay to play. Like, that's not what NIL is.
I think the NCAA, though, I just don't feel like they're going to get that involved with it. I think they'll find certain things to knick-knack and paddywhack with it, but I feel like these schools have figured out the loophole, because what Miami got in trouble with wasn't football related; it was the basketball situation. Right. Which it was as dumb as just sitting down with him at dinner, right? Because now you're manipulating with the recruiting aspect or whatever it may be.
But how is that any different than what's going on otherwise? Mr. Ruiz, God bless him, sat down with the Twins and said, "Come play for Miami, and I'll give you money." I mean, that's basically what it was, except it's couched in an NIL deal. And I'm
it's through his brand. Yeah.
And again, but that's how is that legal? It is what it is. I just think I was waiting, and frankly, as I sit here and drive, I don't recall the time frame between that conversation that took place between Ruiz and the Twins, how long it took the NCAA to step in. I'm still waiting to see what happens with Rashada. Like, just because it's quiet doesn't mean nothing isn't going on in the background.
I mean, everyone keeps bringing it up like Florida's going to be involved with it. I mean, look, you think Miami?
No, I remember Billy came out and was very aggressive in when asked whether or not he thought Florida had any exposure or liability. He said, no, I agree. I totally agree. I don't think, based on the facts as they've been shared with the general public, Florida has anything to worry about. I've maintained from the beginning it's Rashada that has a problem. You really think,
but you think Rashada's going to get in trouble for whatever he's being offered? I don't think these kids have anything to get in trouble with, man. They're just a product of the environment.
Sure. Is he going to face civil penalties? No. But I don't. If I had Rashada in front of me and I started drilling him and asking him the hard questions, he better have a good attorney in front of him, because everything he says is going to make it obvious that this was a pay-to-play deal.
But how is that his fault though? Why would he be held accountable for that?
Because
that would be on the schools.
Mr. Rashada, because the school wasn't involved. That's the that's why Florida's not.
I got you, because it's a third party.
The school was only involved.
Okay, so you're saying because he participated in an illegal action. That's why you're saying Rashada is on the hook here, because he participated in something that is frowned upon.
Knowingly participated.
Knowingly. Got it.
Again,
I got you. Okay.
If he had just gone to the University of Florida and then sued the collective for breach of contract, those facts are not paid to play. But the fact that he didn't appear at the University of Florida and decided to renege and just leave, it says, oh, you thought it was your understanding, Mr. Rashada, that this deal was, hey, if I come to play for the University of Florida, you're going to pay me to do so.
But do you think if he pulls out of it, right? Like nothing actually happened. It was more so like, let's say this was like murder, right? He talked about it, but didn't actually execute on it. Now, and obviously you can.
He signed. Didn't he sign? I know that somebody from the NIL signed. They
did sign before he signed the national letter of intent, but before he signed that letter, stealing his deal to play for University of Florida, the contract was diffused. So technically, I think you could kind of find a loophole. It's like I wasn't under anything. I was just signing dumb contracts with people. I wasn't associated with college. I wasn't a collegiate athlete at this point. And state of California, it would be what the state at that point of California, however they hold these kids accountable. Like DJ, for example, in Texas, can't collect anything, right? But California kids, I think in high school, they can collect NIL deals and brand deals. So if that is the case, that would be a loophole because technically he wasn't part of University of Florida yet. So it wasn't a pay to play at that particular moment. Maybe he should hire me as his lawyer.
Yeah, the problem is that, as by the way, you're cutting in and out, so I apologize if you're only getting every other word I'm saying.
I hear you. It's fine.
The problem, okay, cool. The problem is that what the Florida collective, right? That's what we're naming ourselves. What the Florida collective did, as I understand it, was there was a signed contract. And then somebody in the Florida collective looked at somebody else and said, what in God's name did you sign?
Correct.
We don't have $13 million.
Correct.
So, right. So that's not, you have an executed agreement. But what one side decided to do was basically email the other side and say, yeah, no, about that agreement, we're just not going to abide by it. I mean, again, I think that you had a binding legal agreement. I think that Gator Collective reneged, and then in response, this is where he screwed up. In response to the Gator Collective breaching the contract, Jaden's response was, okay, then I'm not going to play, rather than, okay, I'm going to sue you because we had an NIL deal and you've just breached this contract.
Sure.
I think it would have been a very interesting case. And frankly, maybe sleeping dogs will lie. Maybe I just thought it was interesting that after Rashada and after Ruiz in Miami and Florida, all of a sudden, like, read the tea leaves, right? It wasn't Oklahoma. It wasn't USC. It was Miami. And Mr. Ruiz, who's been in the news, frankly, more than anyone else about NIL deals. I just don't think that's a coincidence.
It'll be interesting to see how Miami recruiting does this year,
right?
With the noise and with everything going on. It could be again. We kept preaching it could be a Texas A&M situation, and it's kind of ironic that we kept saying it, and now it's happening, and it could impact. It could be the beginning to the end of Miami, which I would be ecstatic for. But we'll see how they maneuver their way around it.
Real quick, can we please talk about the Georgia kid? Did you see this story? I somehow completely missed it.
We talked about it. Yeah, last night a little bit. What do you want to talk about it?
Well, did you get into the intent part? I just think it's really interesting. Guy leaves the scene of, I mean, allegedly these are supposed to be his colleagues / friends that I'm not judging the kid for speeding, but I mean, if I don't even, you and I just met. This is just a budding friendship. But if I was out driving with you, and I see you go off the road and hit a pole, my first reaction, I hope, is not to leave the scene for 2 hours while literally somebody is dying inside the car. If I'm an NFL, the first question out of my mouth is going to be, so let me get this straight. When times get tough, you literally leave the scene, right? Like that's your MO. That's what we do.
Bro, somebody needs to put Elliot on the check. Drop him with the bombs. Yeah, so I got it from Soderquist. I got the story secondhand, right? So that was kind of how what I heard was they were obviously speeding / racing. His buddies got into a wreck, which are the two that passed away, sadly, and he kept driving. And that's where, like, manslaughter, I guess he's being charged for, possibly, because I mean he's kind of being associated with guilt because he was a fleed away from the scene of a crime.
I did not see. Is he officially charged with manslaughter?
I think it was like in talks. I don't like. I'm not. Look, okay. I don't have any data. That's just what I'm hearing secondhand. So how much of that is sure, I have no idea. To his point again, like what you're saying is like, hey, would you fleet? Yeah, I don't think you and I would. Who knows if they're all drunk and he realized they messed up, and
so that's
which doesn't make it right. I'm not excusing it, right? But it's just like you understand what's at stake here, and you flee because you're just like, I'm gonna be held responsible if I stay.
Yeah, and this I think should be a lesson to all the young kids out there. One, if you're going to do stupid things on the streets, like be a better driver. That's I
think so. Have you ever watched Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah.
We'll leave it at this. So Game of Thrones, and this is what frustrates me with just people in general, is Game of Thrones is not only a great TV show due to the fact of its storytelling, it's just the fact of how it was created and the levels and the layers that the story had, but what it teaches you. And there's a scene towards the end of the series where Jon Snow talks about his handshake and his word and what his word means. Remember when they said, will you bend the knee to the queen? And he goes, Blondie, I can't remember her name right now, is my queen.
Targaryen.
The Targaryen queen. Yeah, he says, she's my queen. And basically, if he would have lied, right, and said, yeah, I'll bend the knee, the whole show would have been over and everyone's good, right? Everyone comes together. Yeah. But he gave her word. And to me, like, that is so powerful that we don't have that anymore. And it's like watching that show, it's like, my goodness, if we could take one thing from the show, it's that when you say you're going to do something, it has it carries weight with it. And if you go back on it, so the Red Wedding, right? Everyone hated that scene, or they loved the episode, great episode, but hated it because they're like, oh, that guy's an asshole. They made up on it. No, homeboy went back on his word. And if you let him walk all over you, the next person is going to think they're going to walk all over you. So if I'm that guy, you should have been on your heels or toes expecting something to happen because you went against your word. So how I looked at it is like, them bitches had it coming. As soon as they walked into that castle, I was like, them bitches ain't walking out alive. You done did screw my man over. He's got a bunch of ugly ass daughters running around. He was hoping to get his ass into some royalty. Y'all done fucked up. So look, I love it. And I think kind of going back like to the whole, what I was connecting it to is, unfortunately, I feel like our generation has slipped away from that of having that honorable, just bone inside of us. We immediately go into that selfish preserve mode. And that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if he was drunk. He was gone for 2 hours. Did he go home and sober up?
Gotta be. But hey, Elliot, I appreciate you calling in. I got people lined up, man. But
absolutely, dude.
I love you as always, man. Thank you. Good seeing you, Bubba. Glad to see you that you're back in the States. Or not really, but you know what I mean.
All right.
Later, big dog. All right, guys. Appreciate you waiting. Animal, what's going on, big dog? How are you, man?
What's up, my brother? I gotta get you. I've been. First of all, I think you're doing a great job with your show. It's fantastic. I try and
Appreciate
watch as much as I can. By the way, for those that don't know, my name's Animal, and I host a show every Thursday night during the football season, and we try and do some stuff in the off season, and I'd love to get you on sometime. And by the way, hello to David Soderquist, and congratulations, you brought on a good guy with David. He is
Appreciate it.
he is a great guy. I have not had a chance to interview him, but he is a great guy. Let me talk about a couple of things here. Okay. First of all, with the Jalen Carter situation, what I find so amazing is the fact that first of all, he went back. I admire the guy, respect the guy for going back to Georgia, facing what he had to face. Okay, posting up bond, and then going back to Indianapolis for the combine. Now, my problem I have with this, when you bail out, aren't you confined to where the point you cannot leave the state? I mean, I don't know how the legal ramifications work on that, but I would think that if you're out on bail, you're not allowed to leave the state. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. Get your thoughts on that.
I don't think that you're wrong. I mean, that's typically when you're on bail, you can't leave. Sometimes even the county, right? Depending on how strict it is.
Right.
I think it varies. I mean, obviously, they probably know where he's going. Where is the combine? It's in Indianapolis, right?
Indianapolis, Indiana. Right.
Yeah, so maybe they might allow for him to go on a certain leave. Like, hey, you can leave, but it's only here. And they obviously they know where he's at, right? It's not like he's hiding. It's not like he's fleeing the country. It could be just leaving the country. I think it just varies on how serious your warrant is. Honestly, I think it kind of goes case by case. You know how that stuff is, man. When it comes to the law, it's whatever works into that person's favor. So I don't think he would be there if he wasn't allowed to be there. But yes, I do think it is respectable that he went back faced the situation there.
And I love the statement that he put out. I know this was it was his people, but I liked what he put out. So I'm glad he's facing what's ahead of him now. What it does for him with the draft and all. I think
what sucks is that I feel honestly, and look, I might get I get some flack for this, and that's okay. Again, we don't know enough about the situation of what actually happened. We have video evidence. They were both driving, drinking. He left the scene of the crime. That's all that we know thus far. With that at hand, with that knowledge, flatly, right? Looking at it, we have had worse men come into the draft that we overlook. Joe Mixon beat his girlfriend, and he did it again just recently. And he got drafted. He dropped a few spots, but he got drafted. So we've had worse, in my opinion, worse things happen. I remember that one guy that got drafted to the Dolphins. Can't remember his name now. The photo came out of him doing the bong. People made a big deal about that.
Oh, yeah. I forget who that was. I remember that.
I feel like, I'm not saying that's bad either. That's just kind of the kid being the kid. Again, all these things are personal traits, right, that can reflect them, and that obviously is going to impact the draft, which, look, that's part of the game. That's okay. But for me, this situation here, how much...
Laramie Tunsil. That's what it was.
Okay. Oh,
Laramie,
Levi. Yeah, Tunsil, yeah. I couldn't remember, but so for me, it doesn't feel like it's like we're making a big deal about it, and I mean it is a freaky and scary situation, but is he that bad of a person? I don't know. I don't you know what I mean? I don't know if I would really kind of slander him that much. Again, he's a kid. He made a poor mistake, unfortunately, and has to overthink it. I think look, these kids are put on blast more than they ever been. I think, and that's something that I always speak about. Like each generation sits on the previous generation. That's just kind of like how things operate, right? And I always get in arguments with the generation before myself of like we weren't dumb like you guys. No, you guys were dumbasses too. The difference is that we recorded it and posted it on social media. There's no record of you guys. There's no record of you guys being dumbasses. And you forgot about it because y'all have concussions. Like that's literally the difference here. Ours lives forever. Our mistakes live forever, unfortunately. Yours, however, did not. And look, there's a beauty, there's a bliss between that for both of those things. I think that speaks to Michael Jordan. Obviously, we talk about him being the great. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that there wasn't social media. And he is romanticized because there's just all you get is stories. You know what I mean? We didn't know a lot about Michael Jordan personally. We didn't know about what he was doing off the court and his political beliefs like we do with LeBron and the players now. We didn't have nearly as much insight. So we have a much more opinionated about these players because we see everything. It's not just what's on the court anymore. And look, that's just the world we live in. But I think sometimes we have to take a step back and realize, like, look, a mistake was made. How bad was this mistake in relevance to everything else? I don't believe it was that serious, but I could be wrong.
No, I mean, and if it was, I think he would have gone back. Now, I'm going to touch on the Jacob Rashada. I want you to correct me where I'm wrong on this. Rashada dropped his commitment from another school. Florida NIL people decide to come in and they're going to have a conversation about a contract, how much he's going to sign for. Did he? Yeah, okay. Now, my question, my problem that I have with all this is the fact that I don't know how much conversation Billy Napier had with Rashada about coming to Florida. What the problem I have is, and this is from my understanding, please correct me if I'm wrong on this, it's the fact that Rashada has signed a contract before he has signed a deal, signed a contract with NIL before he signed his recruiting thing.
National letter of intent.
His NIL. Now, from that standpoint, couldn't that be regarded as a recruiting violation, knowing the fact that money was transferred to a kid before he even signed the contract? I mean, I would think this is something that they would have to look into. Now, we understand that no money changed hands or anything, but I want to get your thoughts on this. Tell me if I'm wrong on any aspect of what I've been saying here, and do you think I'm right on this?
So I don't think any money was actually exchanged. Now, there may have been like a dirty bag, which that happens all the time, but signing a contract that was the idea of it was it's a third-party contract through the Gator Collective, which in a sense is legal, but the Gator Collective has no association with the university. So it wouldn't be a recruiting violation because they're essentially not involved with recruiting. They don't speak to Billy, and Billy isn't speaking to them, allegedly, right? Billy isn't supposed to have that conversation. Now, Billy was sitting at the table while the signature was going down. That's where it could be a recruiting violation. But if he all he is doing is basically signing a brand deal to come play for Florida. Like, that's the loophole that they're going through. So it's not. It's
right.
No.
Okay. I'm trying to understand how all this works. This works because I mean.
They're signing a deal to say once you become a Florida Gator, you will be eligible for this brand deal. That's what it was. It was all, once you're being played, then you'll have it. So nothing was up front. And again, with it being a third party, it doesn't cross any lines with that either.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure, because I was under the assumption that he had signed the deal before he signed his letter of intent. It just made me wonder.
He did, but it got terminated before anyways. But yeah, either way.
And Soderquist noted that his deal got terminated on December 7th. So I mean, I just, I look at all this and I say to myself, what, NCAA is going to come. Now, what I would tell you is this. NCAA is expected to come out in a few weeks and announce some changes with the NIL. That's what I've heard. I don't know how accurate that is. I've heard that with the new president, of the NCAA, I'm hearing that shortly he's going to come out with new guidelines for the NIL. I don't know what that's going to be. I mean, if you were the president, if you were NCAA, how would you change it? Or can you?
Yeah, I think, I think honestly, at this point, you got to open it up just like the NFL is, and it would have to be, and I would think the idea would be is to put a cap on these things, and it would level out the playing field, which is what the NIL was supposed to do in the first place. And again, how can you work it out? I don't know, but if you allow each school, just like an MLB or the NFL, a certain amount of cap space, and then you have evaluation for each player and what they're worth, just like a player now, they can negotiate what they think they're worth. It's the same thing, right? Some school may be willing to pay more for running back, while another school may not, but they're in a range. And they have the NIL evaluation on three now of these kids and what they feel these kids should be worth. Now, how that money is distributed, that part I don't know, but it's happening. You can't go backwards. I think you
No. I don't think you
trying
can go backwards.
Yeah, trying to tame it is only going to get us back to where we were, where it's just dirty money. Just put it all out there at this point. Now, dirty money is still going to happen. How do we overcome that? The problem with that is, like, how do we look? It's turning into the NFL. That's kind of where it's at. And why does the NFL do it? Like, obviously, Devontae Adams, if he wants 180 million, he's going to get 180 million. He's not going to get bag money. So if everything's open, like the player comes out and says, I want X, well, now the schools know that if they're getting him, they're paying him this much. There's no secrets. So, and again, if there's a cap space, then you can only blow so much. So that, in my opinion, is how you eliminate the dirtiness that's going on. You just, you open it up. You keep it honest. You keep it 100. If you put rules into place and make it think like how I like to always think about these things when we were in middle school, right? You weren't allowed to have gum. Well, when you weren't allowed to have gum, everybody wanted to have gum. Well, when they allowed us to have gum, nobody cared to have gum anymore. Right. So, so if you take the rules off, it almost kind of fixes itself in a way. So
right. I mean that's a great point. Let me touch on one more thing. And sure. I was really concerned about this when I saw all of these coaches leaving, going to the NFL, doing these other things, and it had me worried about whether or not they're not happy with Billy Napier. Because you see all these coaches exiting. You hear about through Gator Collective how some players were saying how other players did not like what Billy Napier was doing and all, and you tend to wonder maybe if maybe there was some problems within the Billy Napier circle. You know, I don't know what you hear about that, but I mean, did you get that sense? I mean, when you heard all these coaches leaving, I mean, it kind of worried me.
No, I'm not too concerned with the coaches leaving. I think from what I've heard and just the interviews that I've read about, it's all positive. Look, I honestly think the stress of being a college coach right now is it's not as enticing as it may have once been.
No,
with recruiting and transferring, it's like, hey, like I can go to the NFL, a little less stress, a little more money for a little less work. See ya. I mean, look, we as Florida fans, I don't understand why we get shocked. I'm surprised Billy comes to work every single day. Like we're ruthless as hell. So if coaches are wanting to leave, the only person we can look at is ourselves, honestly, as fans, because we're absolutely ruthless. I mean, we're calling for Patrick Tony's head every other game. And if the NFL comes knocking, it's like, yeah, my heart can't take this anymore. I'm tired of getting this shit kicked out of me. I'm going to go ahead and take that. So I don't think it's a negative. I don't think it's a Billy fault. I think it's just, look, here we are. Like, this was a rough kind of year for me, Billy. They're giving me an opportunity to go make some money, and I want to go to the NFL. And right now, this kind of scenario isn't really working out. And look, and the NFL is much more enticing than what it may have been 2 years ago.
Final question, and I'll let you talk to the people. Yes, Hilliard is wide receivers coach. Your thoughts on that? Do you think that would be a great move?
Yeah, I talked about it in the video, kind of like my top picks. Jeff Scott was kind of my favorite, or Dallas Baker, the touchdown maker.
Dallas Baker, yes.
Yeah, Ike Hilliard, what concerns me with him, and not concerned, but I feel like he is closer to moving up to the offensive coordinator because he was co-offensive coordinator at Auburn. I feel like that's where his ey's at. He's been a wide receiver coach for a while.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah. So look, if the conversation happens with Ike, it's like, hey, like this can segue into this, then maybe it works. My concern is he comes over, has great success, and then he moves on, and then we're back in this position again next year. Is that something that Billy wants to do? I don't think so. I think he'd rather go get somebody kind of on the cusp of coming into it. And Nick Del Toro dropped an article where Billy basically said, "We're in no rush. I can handle this. We're not gonna." They interviewed 7 wide receiver coaches and basically said we're gonna keep looking. So they're not in any rush to do it. They're gonna make sure they get the right guy.
See, okay, here's something that Harley just said to me a moment ago. He says, name, image, and likeness rights don't pay out until the player is officially a college player. Now, the
Yeah.
only problem, which technically he's right, but and this is what I go back to. I thought that they could not even talk to them until he signed a letter of intent, but I guess that's not the way it is. So.
Well, so again, you're confusing. The collective is not associated with Billy.
No,
So they
no, no,
don't-
no, no. I'm not talking about the collective. I'm gonna make.
But
I'm
that's
just
who
talking
signed-
about in general.
That's who signed the deal, though. That's who he signed the name, image, and likeness deal with. Was the collective, not the university. The collective doesn't follow the rules.
Well, now you just lost me. I mean, when Rashada signed the deal with, I thought it was through a third party.
So the third party is
It's
working with the
Okay.
collective to pay Jaden. None of those people are associated with Florida, meaning they don't break any recruiting rules. They're not in the same. They don't. They're not in that same realm.
I see. Okay.
Yes,
I know
sir.
you got a lot of people.
You're
Sorry
good,
for the
Bubba.
time. Hey,
No, appreciate you calling in, man.
I'll do it some other time. But thank you
Absolutely.
for having me.
Yes, sir.
All
Be
right.
good, man. Thank you.
You too. God bless. Bye bye.
Yes, sir. Goodbye. All righty. Good stuff there. Loved it. That was the show in the show. It's show with a T, guys. Come on. What do you want, you elite mug? Yesterday wasn't good enough?
Oh, apparently not.
Mike Lowry was here a minute ago. Call back in. Lowry.
I can't get enough of this thing. Can't get enough of this thing. What is up with that hat? What's going on there?
I'm vibing, Steven.
Oh.
I was just about to ask. Soderquist already beat me to the punch. Is this Buzz Holly or are we sober Holly? What are we looking at?
Oh, no, I'm fine.
Oh, this sucks. Boo. Everyone say boo in the chat.
I got my little tiny Bud Light. I'm trying to scale down on things. It's not like the cannon that I'm used to drinking. That's a little tiny fella.
I love how Steve, like a mini can, right? Is like it's him hydrating. He goes, "Just Bud, Steve." He's like, "No, I'm just staying hydrated. We're good."
Yeah. That's it.
My
How's the show going, buddy?
Lowry.
What's up?
Oh, there he is.
What's
Why
up?
can't we? Oh, look at me. Oh, he's in his man in uniform.
Oh yeah, boy.
Shit.
Just the man of the shadows.
Taking my nap, my lunchtime nap.
Hey, Steve. Everyone wants to know where the hell you been in the Discord, bro.
I'm sorry. I work a 13-hour day on Thursdays.
Oh,
I
my God.
logged off to come and hop in here.
You
with
are such.
monkeys.
You are just. You are. You know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You got
You
a lot
asked
of
the question.
reading to do.
Sorry.
That's not Soder.
Shut up, Connor. Get out of here. Get out of here right now.
I forgot we didn't talk about the college football rules yesterday. We were just kind of grooving
I know,
right
yeah,
along.
we were going back and forth.
We never discussed it. What's your thoughts on it, Lowry?
Oh, I didn't really read too much into it to have an opinion. I heard a little bit of what you guys were talking about, but I'm in between work too, so no comment.
I mean, the rules kind of just seem like they're just all just noise. It's what it feels like. All that's being proposed, none of it's been passed. I think the biggest thing that's weird to me is the consecutive timeouts. Can you explain that, Steve? Steve's weird on just his knowledge with this nonsense.
Right. So if a team calls a timeout, let's say that they're they're running down the clock, whatever the case may be, you're technically not supposed to call a timeout on a timeout. Period. If one team calls a timeout, you are not supposed to be able to call another timeout on
Follow
the
it
back
up with a
end of that.
timeout.
Right. Correct.
So
Now,
like
because-
let's say I'm team A and I'm going to go kick a field goal. I call a timeout before I kick a field goal. Team B can't call another one right afterwards to ice the kicker.
Okay, so that I believe is acceptable.
But they're getting rid of that. That's what the rule is trying
That's
to.
what I'm saying. Yeah. But what the real rule, what it's trying to do is, let's say there's 20 seconds left. Team A with the ball gets down into field goal range. They call a timeout so they can get their field goal team on, and then the defensive side of the ball calls a timeout to ice it, and then another timeout again to back on their own.
Yeah,
timeout.
that's how I read it. But I've
That's
never
the
seen
issue.
that before, though. I feel like I don't see
Really?
that much. Yeah, I don't feel like I've seen a back-to-back icing. I don't feel like that's a thing.
Yeah, that's the reason it's on the rules. Like, now you can call a timeout as an offense, and then we can wait. We can all get set. I can see
Call
what your
another one.
formation is, and I can call one. But I
Sure.
can't call a timeout off my own timeout. I can't just keep calling it.
I mean, you only got 3 of them anyways. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've never seen a back-to-back timeout. Like,
Yeah,
I haven't seen. I guess I haven't seen it enough to where a rule should be in place. Typically, when a rule is put in place, it's like when you walk in somewhere, it's like, hey, please don't piss in the sink. It's like, well, how did we get here? Like,
Well, somebody
how
pissed in
did
the sink.
how did that become a rule? You know what I mean? Like, obviously somebody
Too many
did it
people
for.
pissing in the sink, bro. I mean,
Exactly.
that's the only logical alternative.
That's my point. So when a rule usually happens, it's because it happens too often. I was like, I don't feel like this is a rule that's happened that many times.
It's used in the NFL a lot more than it is college.
Well, this is college. It's two different sports.
But they're
there.
bringing an NFL rule in. This already exists in the NFL.
All right, so that's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is can you explain this one, because I was lost here. Okay. This is where Steve's a smart guy here. It says the extending the quarters rule.
Yeah, this is insane, right? And this is like I'm gonna have to read because look,
I'll read it. Let me read it.
Yep.
It says this could make it so that a first or third quarter would not be extended for an untimed down if the quarter ends on a defensive penalty. In that case, the down would be clocked in the next quarter.
Right. Okay. So it's very specific in saying this only applies to the first and third quarter. Hypothetically, if I'm on defense, you throw a deep pass, there's 18 seconds left, and I just clock your guy and just say you're not going to catch the ball, right? It's not applying to the second or fourth quarter, saying that the halves can't end. What it's saying is that if you're going, you're going deep, I knock you out. It's gonna the clock strikes 0. They're not going to give you one untimed down with a 0 clock. What they're going to do is
go into the second.
It's going to go into the second quarter, yeah, or the fourth quarter, and it's going to play off of that. I'm not a huge fan of, because look, the other part of this is if you're an away team,
you're going to different sides.
You want to go different ways because you have a home crowd on one end of those damn end zones, right? And if you're thinking, hey, I get that one free down going into my homies, and they flip that bitch, and then you're like, God, now I got to go all the way down to the other end of the field and be up against these monkeys. No, I just feel like there's a lot of strategy involved. Even when they do the coin toss, like, hey, a visiting team, what side do you want to defend?
Especially on a windy day, like let's say the penalty puts you into field goal range.
That's a huge thing. Yeah.
It's definitely. I mean, you could definitely. But again, like the reasoning is to speed it up. I can see where that would speed it up, because that untimed down, that's another 10 minutes into the game, into the first quarter. Because now you play, you get a timeout probably before the play. You come back, you play, and then you got to have
you go back to commercials,
quarter switch,
right? Yeah.
Right. So that makes my
it
homies,
does make
they
sense
that
when it comes to time. I just don't see how. I don't like the logic on the field and the way
Michael speaking. Michael speaking.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're good. I don't think any of those. I mean, you just read 2 of them. I don't think any of those are really like that big of a deal. Because it's funny that you guys are talking about this, because like when football seasons go on, my girlfriend will ask me, it'll be like a Saturday, obviously, and then she'll be like, oh, can we go to dinner? And I'll look at her and be like, this shit's gonna be on for about 4 hours, and she'll be like, well, how's a football game? She don't know much about football, but so I think it's a good thing, kind of, because sometimes I'll be sitting there restless, especially if your team sucks, which ours has. So you'd be like, man,
I think we could all relate to that.
Yeah. So yeah, I get it.
Streaming the games this year, you realize how long the fucking games are, because when I'm watching, I don't really have a break because you guys are watching me live the whole time, so I can't do anything stupid for 3.5 hours.
That's all you do for 3.5 hours. Is
I know, but I gotta keep it. Like, I remember the Florida State game. That game felt really long when we were at Dick's. Like, that was just a long night. So I get what you're saying. I understand, and I think from a consumer, again, Ryan made a point today. He's like, look, I just want to go watch the game on Saturday, right? So I get it though, especially with the wives and the girls at home, right? Like sometimes it's like you literally, once that game starts at 3:00, the night's done. Like, we're not doing anything. 3:30, like, oh, it's 3:30. Like, well, we'll be done soon. Like, no, you're not. Yeah. It's 8:00 before this shit's over with. Like, on all honesty, because you got post game, you got to decompress what just happened, right? Like, you're after game piss and shit, and by the time you get I
gotta watch the post game interview, honey. What do you want me to do? The coach is almost to the podium.
He's like, Steve's like, I gotta get drunk and go live and talk about how great FSU is. Like, the first 4 games this year for Florida were all at night. Like, it was like midnight, and we were still grinding, dude.
Right. And nobody's waiting for Billy Napier's post game conference. I'll tell you that much. They're so boring.
He's not exactly a lively.
Lowry, that's our coach, bro.
He's boring, man. I'll catch the clips when you do a little review of him.
Yeah, dude, it's just that's a knock I got for Billy. I'm hoping Armstrong can come in here and pencil whip some guys and get this thing going here a little bit and talk these boys down.
Buddy.
You know what I'm saying? Give us some kind of one-liners. We need some more sound bites on our shit here so we can get up and pencil whip and start these guys and do real good with it. Because right now all we got is
How about them Gators?
for the fact and this.
Scared money don't make money, you know.
One of those was from like 5 years ago, and not even as a Gator. We haven't had one since, right? And the other one was game 1, okay, of last year. That's it. Like I should have way more buttons from Billy, in my opinion.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
All right, well, that's only through 2 rules. So far, Litterus is passing. Steve, you're not a fan of that second the quarter rule.
Yeah, I don't care less about the timeouts on icing the kicker. It doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah, that one I don't
that
even notice.
Kind of silly.
Yeah, I don't even notice it.
Yeah, the one about like
Look, hold on. To be fair though, like that is a dumb rule. Like you said, icing the kicker. You said you can't ice a kicker. Like at some point, it's like, look, like I think there's a perfect time where you can kind of get into a kicker's head for sure. You've seen it happen before, but if you're going back-to-back timeouts, you're just being a dick. Like, stop.
I mean, Belichick. We know. I know for a fact I've seen Belichick do it before they changed.
Do you? I mean, but have you heard? What did you say?
But Belichick is also a dick. Yeah.
Okay, exactly.
He also wins a lot of football.
Yeah, the quarter one, I can kind of see like your point of, if you're going down to your homies, that was a hell of an argument. The running the clock. So running clock, according to this rule, the clock will continue to run after a first down. I'm okay with this as well too. Like I've never really. It's again when we watch it on Saturday and we watch it on Sunday. Like for a fan, like having to like, oh wait, the clock stops. Like I don't know. Like why? What's the point of it? It never made any sense to me anyways, because in 2 years or something, they're going to have to learn that's not a real thing anyway. So it's almost like it's fake rules. Like at that point, they're getting paid now. They should have to have 2 feet in, to be honest with you. The 1 foot thing allows for cool catches, I guess. But in literally 2 years, they're going to have 2 feet in. So at what point is the line? Is the NFL? I don't know. I'm okay with it being 1 foot. Does it really matter? No, it doesn't. But the first down thing, yeah, look, it does slow it down. Think about it. If they're getting
what about incomplete passes? Is that still going to be a thing where the clock stops?
Yeah, so that would
incomplete pass?
You're getting ahead of us.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, look, that's the quite accordingly. That's the 4th rule. Is if it's an incomplete pass, once the ball is set, the time will then run. That one is a little weird to me because that I think can really change the entire dynamic of the game. Because before you would throw the ball to stop the clock, like.
Yeah, but how do you spike the ball now? How do you spike the ball for a clock stoppage?
Yeah, that to me is a weird one. I'm not okay with that one. I think that to me is probably the worst rule of the 4. That's not about speeding the game up. I don't care about that. That completely infects the entire game. That affects a 2-minute drive. That doesn't correlate to the NFL either. So you're going backwards in that sense. Of like, well, you're making the game harder and it's going to get easier. I would think because the time stops with an incomplete pass.
Right.
But it's not. It's only inside 2 minutes, guys.
No. 2 minutes. It goes back to that. No. 2 minutes is the first down thing.
Okay, so it says the clock will continue to run after an offense gains a first down, except inside of 2 minutes of a half.
Yeah, we're talking about an incomplete pass. It's 2 different things.
Okay.
The next rule is the incomplete pass.
But I think I thought it was supposed to be the way that was written. It was inside 2 minutes that you do still get the stoppage of the ball.
I'm reading it right now. It says this measure is considered most controversial. We'll have the clock continue to run after an incomplete pass once the ball has been spotted.
You know what's crazy? And I had these numbers yesterday when we were doing the cast. So in 2018, the average football game, NCAA football game, was 3 hours and 16 minutes. And after everything, and let's be honest, the media has a whole lot to do with this as well because they want to insert themselves as many.
Bro. That's the problem.
In 4 years, the average football game went to 3 hours and 22 minutes. It picked up 4 minutes.
I would like the data to see how many commercial TV timeouts there are. Like how much has it increased from 2018 to 20? Look, I watched the Daytona 500. Okay, the coverage of that was horrendous. And before, as a kid, like the race was always long, and they got better at just like having the race on and then they would have a commercial playing. They still do that, but now the screen's getting smaller. So you're like this, and I have an 85-inch and I'm like this, trying to watch it. And I felt like every 3 seconds, it was just a commercial. And then they would come back to the NASCAR and they're flying a drone around. I'm in the car. It's on the sideline. It's here. And then it's back to commercial. It's like, holy, what the hell just happened? I'm just trying to enjoy the race here, guys. Like, relax. Like, they're trying to appeal to a whole audience and obviously still make money is what it feels like. And it's just like, let the sport be a sport. You know what I mean? I want to know how many TV timeouts there are. They're not going to bring that up, but that's the problem. No, it's none of the things that we just mentioned are slowing the game down.
So hold on one second. So, and I'm gonna have to scroll a little bit to get the. Okay, so this article was written on the 27th of February, 2023. It said that there are 16 full commercial breaks during a college football game. A full commercial break is a 2.5 to 3 minute break. So they get 16 of those per game. I do know now that I'm thinking about it, like, hey, it's a timeout on the field. It's a 30-second timeout. They may jump to one commercial, maybe two, they come back, or they stay on the field. But
so 16
advertisers are
that
given
then.
16.
So 16 plus 30 seconds, right?
Plus those little 30s that add in, yeah.
So that's what? That's so 16 times 2, that's 30 minutes. There's half an hour right there. Half an hour to 40 minutes right there. There you go, guys. Cut it down to 8, bitches.
Well, then you don't get $80 billion or $80 million a team in the Big Ten.
Hank says, but
that's hold on. That is not okay. So there are 16-minute commercial breaks during a college football game that can last between 2.5 to 3 minutes each. The networks cut away for commercial breaks after changes of possession, scores, end of the quarter, timeouts, and reviews. So that's where they're automatically given their time. And then, of course, there's the other ones that are sprinkled in, which we just
if you think about like what baseball does, because baseball, they don't have, unless there's like a pitching change, they don't have timeouts in the middle of play. It's in between each inning, or between each transition of offense to defense. But they do a great job of having ads on the mound now, in the background. Like, that's how they capitalize on it. Because think about it, honestly, when you're watching a baseball game, you get more TV time of baseball than you do commercials, because just how the game flows, you can't really call a commercial timeout in the middle of a pitch. It would ruin the flow of a game. So I feel like if a game is flowing well, right? Like, why? Sometimes you can kind of feel like it's flowing well, and then they'll stop it just to throw something in. That's what I think needs it. Like for the fact that I didn't realize, so that was 2016. They have 16 scheduled breaks. That was in 2016 that came out. That's had to have gone.
No, that was just like 3 days ago. This was written on just a couple days ago.
So cut that down to 10 or 12. Cut it down to 12 and add a patch to the kids' jerseys and throw a damn on the damn field. The NBA's doing it.
That's not to mention there's a guaranteed 20-minute halftime break. That's a full hour, guys.
Oh, shit.
Between commercials and halftime are an hour.
They should put us in charge. We just solved the problem.
I'm here for it.
Now, we may have lost NCAA, a couple million, but the people will be happy. Dude, look, here's my thing. If they want to put 16 commercials in, just put 16 better commercials. Like, did anybody, what's weird? What's very interesting here? Nobody fucking talks about the Super Bowl commercials this year.
Yeah.
That wasn't a thing. That wasn't a thing, dude. Like, did I miss something? Was that a thing? Did we, or was I oblivious? Was I blind? Or was it not even a thing?
I don't think it caught anybody's attention this year. No, there was a Dunkin' Donuts commercials with Ben Affleck that I thought was pretty funny. There was a couple here and there. With
Jennifer.
Yeah. When she pulls up and she's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, that was a good one.
There's a couple of good ones in there.
The Tubu commercial where everyone thought their TV got flipped. That one went nuts.
Right.
But what's funny, the only commercial that did well is the one that they thought like your TV got messed up. And obviously, I know because Jake Paul, he had a Prime commercial. That commercial. The worst, and honestly, I think why I got so much flack is the damn Gronk thing. You guys see that?
No.
So I bet on my bookie. It was this whole thing with DraftKings, I think, or fantasy duel, whatever, where it was like he was supposed to come out and do a field goal kick, and if he made it, like so many fans won something. And so they advertised that he was going to come out at some time during the game and kick a field goal. I think we all anticipated he was actually going to run onto the field and kick a field goal during halftime, right? And then my bet was, is he going to wear sleeves or not sleeves? That was what I bet. And then I bet is he going to spike it once he makes it? It was a commercial, like a professional, like weird style commercial where he just ran out, kicked it. You couldn't even tell if he made it or not. And they said he missed it. And then it was done and over in like literally 15 seconds. It was the worst thing ever. And I was really excited for it. And it was awful.
It cost $13 million.
Seriously, it's brutal. Yeah, that's depressing that we didn't. I feel like, I mean, dude, when I was in college, man, we would, in my marketing classes, those were always a big topic. That following week, we would just talk
That's
about
kind
all
of what made the Super Bowl so good. Look, the game was obviously what everybody was there to watch, but you didn't take your eyes off the TV, right? Even if you had to make like a restroom run real fast to get rid of all the alcohol that you had been taking in on Sunday, you felt like you were going to miss something, even if you took your eyes off the TV for just a second or two. So, yeah, it was a stark contrast to that. Not really caring. I mean, the halftime show, I don't think that didn't like bring me into it, right? That didn't make me want to stick around and sit down and watch that. A couple of times it's been like, wow, I can't wait to see this halftime show. It
wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was good.
Yeah. It was better than the Black Eyed Peas. So
I don't remember that one.
You don't remember Fergie singing? Was it Guns N' Roses?
I don't.
No.
I don't think the last.
My
I don't even
God.
think.
Hey, do yourself a favor when you get off of this. Go YouTube the video of Fergie singing while Slash plays the guitar. It will blow your mind.
Look, Cody's here, guys. Look, oh, geez.
Hey, real fast on the commercial break thing. Are you there?
Yeah,
we hear you loud and proud.
Hey, all right. So last year, I had to TiVo a lot of the games because I was hunting, obviously. Okay. So it's 2 minutes every single commercial break. I had to fast forward 2 minutes, and sometimes you would only get one play in, and they would run it right back to commercial, and it would be another 2 minutes. I think I counted 18 times, 18 commercial breaks. So 18 times 2. That's how many commercial breaks were in one of the games.
And so, yeah, because it's 16 minimum, but they have those 30-second ones as well that pop in there. So, yeah, like that's what we said. 16 probably is the minimum. It's not even, how that works.
Guarantee. That's the guarantee for the advertisers.
That's pretty sad that it's like, oh, there goes another 2 minutes. TiVo, gotta fast forward.
Do you guys remember when they would when the possession would change? Whether it was a punt or a kickoff, when they set the ball, they wave the clock. And it was like, dude, no. I mean, we just received a kick, and then you had to rush up there. You had to have your entire offense ready to go, your defense ready to go. They put the ball on the ground and wave it, and the clock would start. You're like, this is a change of possession. Like, what are we doing? I hate it. They got rid of it. But.
Another thing with the not stopping and starting the clock, I kind of like it because it always seems like it always gets messed up. You know what I mean? Like we're screaming like, oh, the clock's running, it's first down, and the clock's still running, and then they have to stop. They have to look back at the film. We got to get.
Yep,
we have to reset the clock.
That's the code for reset the play clock. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's usually messed up anyway, so that doesn't bother me. But I gotta get back to work. I just wanted to let you guys know that little fun fact that I found out while I was TiVoing the games.
Appreciate
Cody,
Big Dog.
with knowledge. I mean, what do we do
Cody
without
dropping some bombs there. Later, big guy.
All right, we'll see you. Bye.
What up, champ? Where are you at now, bro? You were literally in like summer, and now is it cold at Cali?
I was at Dick's. Now I'm at soccer practice.
Is it cold at Cali?
Dude, it's freezing.
Where in Cali are you?
Look at my boy Leonard. He's in a freaking skull cap.
I know, bro. It's like it's snowing up there. Where in Cali are you?
Rockland.
Like I know where that is.
That's
Sacramento.
There we go. Okay.
That's north, isn't it?
North, very north.
North. We're hella NorCal.
That's like 72 here. It's freezing.
It's 72. Is that what you said?
No, it's more like, what is it, like 50?
40. No, it's like 40.
Yeah, it's like 40 degrees out here. It's
okay, he's wearing a little much for 40, but
what do we? I had to pick up something at Dick's, and now I'm at soccer practice. What did I miss?
So we had Animal come on. We talked about the Jaden Rashada thing a little bit. We talked about the rule changes again. Steve kind of clarified a few things, and then we were kind of just going back. And then we talked about Super Bowl commercials. We've kind of just rambling on, going down some rabbit holes here. I talked about how the Super Bowl commercials are kind of nothing.
Okay.
And how it's
all of my recent Super Bowl parties, we're not really watching the commercials the way that I used to growing up. Like when I was like in high school and early 20s, like you watch the Super Bowl. Okay, it's getting a little loud. It's getting a little loud.
Shit.
Dude, you're gonna be here.
That's true.
Your little one, you're like 5 to 7 years, you're gonna be here. Your
That's
life's
true.
gonna be nothing but soccer. So no, they used to be like the thing, right? And you guys remember when MTV tried to come in and swoop and they had like the claymation at halftime? I'm dating myself. This may be a little bit before Chelsea's time.
They had Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yes, Celebrity Deathmatch.
I feel like MTV.
I appreciate that.
We are down a rabbit hole. I don't mind. This is what this show is for. It's supposed to be fun like this. MTV to me has dropped the ball tremendously. I feel like they had with just weird stuff they always did. They've eliminated everything. I was telling my wife because Rob Dyrdek has talked about his schedule and how many shows he records for ridiculousness. And I went through my TV the other day and was clicking through we watched the challenge, right? That's on Wednesday. And then I clicked through to see what's up. It was ridiculousness literally for 9 hours. And they would have their one show at 8 p.m. and it was another 9-hour run of ridiculousness. That's literally all they have. Ridiculousness with Rob Dyrdek. In MTV, I used to live on MTV. Whether it was the 80s show, it would go back in the top 100 songs from the 1980s. One-hit wonders, and you learn all about these artists, and they'd have Room Raiders, and literally I grew up on MTV, and now it's just gone. It breaks my heart.
I feel like the music part of MTV left in the late 80s, early 90s.
That was gone before me.
Yeah, no doubt.
Now you're aging yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I mean, I can't help it. You guys are old. That's not my fault.
It's true. I remember the MTV I remember had Beavis and Butthead on it before it was popular.
It's true.
What's
I
up?
remember watching Beavis and Butthead in the movie theater on Christmas Day. That was
yeah. Pumped. Couldn't. I mean, you used it as a Christmas gift. Come on, mom, listen. Keep the shoes. Keep the underwear. I don't care about the stocking stuffers. Look, Beavis and Butthead is coming out. The movie, the real thing. I need to be there.
You know what though? It was actually a good movie.
It was funny as hell.
It wasn't bad.
It was funny as hell.
Way better than I anticipated it.
And then it had a bunch of spin-offs from it, right? They had Daria, the chick, right? And then it's got the guy with propane and propane accessories.
Oh yeah.
Hank Hill. Yeah, that was the guy. That was the old man they used to harass in the neighborhood. Yes. He got a spinoff.
Yes, dude. Hank Hill is the man. He got us all hooked on propane.
I've got nothing to give here, boys. Sorry, I'm just hanging out.
Hey, look, this is how we shut Shelton up. All we got to do is talk about anything from the mid '90s.
Yeah,
and it's over.
Dude, I go back to the '80s. I was straight He-Man, Masters of the Universe, and GoBots.
Yeah, GoBots.
I'm really dating myself.
GoBots was awesome. They looked like they knock off from the Transformers that came on the weird odd times of the day. I'm not even out of school yet. Why is this on?
You get up early in the morning. You watch your morning. Remember Saturday morning cartoons?
Oh, don't get me started. There was nothing better than a giant trough of cereal. Right?
Yes.
And then
I was there for that. I was there for that.
Were you?
Okay? Yeah, so we didn't watch the same stuff, I'm sure, but I remember the Nickelodeon shows, and they used to have a show that I always wanted to be on called Guts. You guys know Guts, right?
Yeah, but your idea of Saturday morning and my idea are I was.
No, I'm talking Bugs Bunny. I'm talking the Daffy Duck, the Warner Brothers stuff.
I agree with you. I'm not on the same level.
I know it's because you're too far behind.
Yeah, because
I agree, Gen. I agree. IB Mac. Gen X is overrated. You guys are overrated. You guys are a bunch of losers. I think the millennial generation is a sweet spot. I mean, no biased.
I don't know. Should I ask my son's soccer coach who just showed up? What he thinks?
How old is he? Andrew,
Mike,
what's up,
how old are
Bubba?
Hey, how's it going?
Huh? Oh,
What's up,
Good,
man?
You hear
Bubba.
me?
Dude, wait, do you want to say hi to all the nice people? We're on a podcast.
Hey, Coach.
Oh, no.
We're talking about Saturday morning cartoons, and he's talking guts, and I'm like, no. It was all about like, remember the Muppet Babies?
Cartoons, guys.
Yeah. The Muppet Babies.
What
were
was the
awesome.
temple one?
With a what?
I like
The
cops.
temple,
COPS.
where they had to fight through like a temple puzzle.
Yes, God, you're right, Andrew.
Anyway,
Temple
now
Run,
you're
Temple
right.
Run, right? No, not Temple Run.
Temple Run?
No, that was the app.
That's the app.
Does anyone know Cops? I don't remember Cops. That's the new one. I don't.
Legends of the Hidden Temple. Legends.
Yeah.
Hey, that soccer coach, that guy's gonna win you like 3 natties. That guy was bred to be a soccer coach.
Dude. He absolutely was.
Yeah, this guy, bro. When you went over, I was like, "Holy shit!" Like I thought it was gonna be some just like random like dad. You know what I mean? Like you pulled him straight out of Arsenal like 2 weeks ago. Okay, he didn't work out at Chelsea.
Yeah.
And flew over the pond to come coach your soccer team.
Dude, what I will say, like one of the great things about living in Rockland is we take our sports extremely serious. And actually, we're gonna tie this back into the Gators because whatever analyst Billy just hired is from the Northwest. And the word on the street is he was doing that because he wants to tap into Northern California, Oregon, and Washington. Like
I love it.
Why?
You know,
Yeah, you're not. I feel like Gator fans are not gonna like the West. After the Rashada thing, everyone says, "Stay away from the West kids."
yeah, but dude, like, there's some big like De La Salle's out here, Folsom. There's some big time high schools out here.
There's my buddy Austin, who's on the show, he talks about it all the time. Like he can't get like he's like about California schools where like they're up and coming and there is a lot of high quality kids out there. I have heard that a lot.
So as somebody who learned to play the sport of football in the state of Florida and then moved to California and played football for most of my life in California, like I love California, no disrespect. It's just different in the state of Florida. It just is. I can't put my.
We built different. We built different down here, big dog.
We
just need to recruit 90 miles around Gainesville and we're good.
Yeah,
that's it.
You're absolutely
circle
right.
around 90 miles around it.
We don't even
That's
need a
all
helicopter. We just need a bus.
No.
Unfortunately,
we just need an airboat.
Can't land. Do we think that Derek Gibson is actually going to be better than Chauncey Bowens?
Chauncey Bowens, Jarrett Gibson. You think Bowens is better, Andrew?
Who can tell now? I mean, on paper, you look at the guys; they're not too far off.
Yeah, this is the same person.
The
Look, a lot of
athleticism is.
Jarrett plays at ING. I think that plays a lot to him being a number one guy.
Yeah,
I mean, somebody's got to be number one. You know what I mean? Like at that point, bro. Like I say this all the time. 1 to 10, dude. We're splitting hairs here, right? Like it's just at this point, it's the flashiness that we're going for. That's why I was like, look, I would love to get Jarrett. The 5-star offensive tackle excites me more. I think from what I've noticed over the last few years, those Harold Perkins, the 5-star linebacker who Steve and I watched commit to LSU last year from Texas A&M, is now being considered the number 1 linebacker this year as a sophomore. That's what I want to go get. I feel like the running back classes, they're pretty, like you said, athleticism wise. I want somebody in a position like a linebacker where like you're the quarterback on the defense. That's where I want to invest in and go get a 5-star guy, because Harold Perkins was a disruptor last year. That guy made a massive difference on that defense for LSU. Dude, he was so fun to watch. That was so fun.
It's the pressure point of the defense.
Yeah,
the linebacker is the pressure point.
It's the bending point. Jared Gibson comes. It's not that same level of impact. Just not. No way.
Was that the guy that was really high on Florida and then badmouthed LSU and said that they weren't giving him enough love, and then he took like his entire family to LSU and then picked LSU? Was that the same guy?
Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I know it was close. It was like down
something like that.
Pretty sure his mom wanted him to come here. Real quick, I don't know if Josh P. Is that Pollier? I don't know if you're still in here. That's a long time buddy. If it is, call him, bro. His comments in there. But yeah, when I thought we were gonna get him when it all went down. I thought it was an absolute lock for
my
Florida,
God.
but
Can I embarrass my daughter? Oh, she's dumb. She's gonna come over here. Oh,
hello.
wow, they're plugging my own YouTube channel. That's just terrible. All right.
What did she say?
She said "Burbs are a go." It's the tagline on Caliburbia.
Oh, that's
Oh,
This is
You are on
what
YouTube.
you guys have to look forward to, right? Like eventually they're gonna get this age. and
that's
they're
a fun
gonna hop
age.
in.
I got a 2-year-old I just put down. Ugh.
How's Linky? Andrew, tell us. Talk to us, baby.
We're on live.
He's supposed to get out this weekend of the hospital, hopefully.
You're on live TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
When's this? The surgery got pushed back, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be the 23rd. And
You got
it's
pushed back.
been just, yeah, we don't have a date. We're trying to work on a date. And the scary part is he keeps getting sick and they keep having to put him in the hospital. He's probably going to have to, they're wanting him out of the hospital, but he might just need to stay there to stay healthy.
For precaution, yeah, to be safe with it, yeah. Why do they keep pushing back the surgery?
You have to be healthy for 30 days before you have this surgery.
Jeez, Manetti, dude. Golly, dude. These
You
freaking
can't be
rules.
sick.
Yeah.
It's
Damn, bro.
it's a 12 to 20-hour surgery. So, I mean, like, he has to be as strong as possible. So,
Oh, prayers for you, Bubba, man.
it's not necessarily as, like, his heart that's messed up. It's the plumbing coming in and out of it is all jacked up. But
It's good
he's
analogy.
amazing. Yeah.
The plumbing.
Well,
Well, man, prayers for you, big guy, man. It's
for sure.
every time I look at little B, man, I think about like Linky and just anybody else that's going through. I'm like, dude, we're extremely blessed, and it's like I don't know how I would handle it. Like I would lose my shit, man. So you're stronger than me, bro. I'd be flipping out every day, man. So
yeah. Well, cartwheels in the inside, but you got to hold it together for your family and everything else. So
that's what I'm saying. You're way stronger than me. There's no way I'd be losing it for
well,
sure.
Look, it's not me alone, man. It's my faith in Jesus Christ. It's the hope I hold on to. So yeah,
I love it.
I wouldn't be able to make it without my salvation. So
for sure, I love it, man.
And I really wanted to come on to say thank you to the family here at High Top. I believe the growth that you're seeing, the blessings that you're getting is all based upon what you're giving out. So
I appreciate that, man.
Thanks, man. We appreciate that.
The community here to chat and you guys just keep being real human beings, and thank you so much for everything y'all doing for my family.
Damn, bro, you made me cry, bro. I'm be doing that shit.
Absolutely.
Golly.
Drew, my man, thank you, man. We appreciate that. Look, that was kind of our goal when we put this thing together, right? We talked about it quite a bit, is that we just wanted to build a little family and have a bunch of knuckleheads that can get together on a stream like this and just chat it up and come together with like minds,
Right. Man,
Appreciate it, man.
So great hearing that from an FSU fan. Love you, Steve.
Zinger.
Got me.
I love it.
Wow. Anyways, I'll let you guys get back to it.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling in, Bubba. Praise the Lincoln, buddy.
Thanks for everything.
Please let me know, all right, man?
I will.
All right, man. All right, oops. We've got Ant here. Tony, is what you said in the chat?
Yeah. No. In the back chat, we met from around the table sports. Remember, I was messing with you in Ty's channel. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
I'm the Hurricanes fan.
Oh shit! I told you to call in. Yeah. What's up, man? I don't remember the names. They were talking shit.
I'm in enemy territory now with 2 Florida fans and a Florida State fan. Oh God, I'm outnumbered.
You are surrounded. I mean, to be fair, it's if we dropped Elliot, it's me and Elliot versus you two because we don't get along. So
no, I have a question for you. If it was between Cameron Davis, the running back that Florida State has, or Jarrett Gibson, who would you want? That's
a good question. Cameron Davis is kind of a dog, bro. Like I feel like I saw that you guys got him. I was kind of going through like the other running backs that are available, and I think he's like the fourth running back in the class. And Cameron Davis is an absolute. He's a big stature kind of dude. Jarek Gibson to me, like not a knock on Jarek, but he's kind of tiny compared. I think Cameron Davis like 6'2", and Jarek's like 5'10".
Jarek is the same size as guys like Alvin Kamara and stuff like that. 5'11", 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah, and Jarek's like 6'2", right? Like Derrick Henry type shit. Yeah. Running backs like that fire me up.
No, I'm gonna say this. Cameron reminds me a little bit of Christian Okoye, if you guys know who that is. From
the Nigerian
in the 90s.
Nightmare.
The Nigerian Nightmare, baby. What's up?
And these fucking two.
Yeah, for me,
like
I'm a
970
Hurricanes fan. Like
here.
I said, me and the Gators and the Hurricanes are the top two for Jarek. To be honest, that's who the top two is according to 247.
Is who?
Miami and Florida.
No, Jarek got crystal ball to Texas like 2 days ago.
I don't believe that crap. I don't believe that. Honestly.
He got Wilfong, bro.
He got Wilfronged.
That can be a black hand sometimes. If we joke around with Wilfong sometimes I joke around with him. I'm like, sometimes you're predicting this early to a team. Sometimes it's a detriment. Like,
sure, I agree with that. But that he's got a whipping hand because he knows that if they don't follow through, then they'll drop 14 spots.
Yeah, that's it exactly.
I don't get it. Why is it? Can you guys explain this to me? I'm a Hurricanes fan. If Florida State and let's say Florida State and the SEC swallow their pride, do you think they would bring in both Miami, Clemson, Miami, and Florida State into the conference?
First of all, we don't want Miami sorry ass. They probably should go down like to the AAC or something like that. But
screw you.
I think Miami probably should just try to win a conference championship before they think about coming to the SEC. I think they'll probably gobble up the Florida State and Clemson. Miami, we haven't even talked about Miami being gobbled up into that. I don't know.
No. Actually, I was reading an article recently. It seems like the SEC, what they're gonna do is try to dominate the whole South, gobble up all the teams in the South, and so USC, the Big Ten doesn't come down and try to get Florida State or something like that.
The Big Ten can have Miami.
Huh?
So the Big Ten can have Miami. I would like to have Miami in the SEC so Florida could play Miami more often. So I can hear about Miami, quit hearing about Miami fans saying that Florida's afraid to play you guys. Just because one AD came out and said they don't want to play you every year, that doesn't mean Florida's afraid to play you. Okay, just that particular AD was afraid.
Yeah, no. I admit, in the back of my mind, as a young Hurricanes fan, I've always assumed because of that whole Sugar Bowl incident in the was it the 90s or the 80s where they got in a fight?
I'm sure Elliot was there.
Dude, I was in the swamp for the game when the Gators won we're going to the Sugar Bowl for the first time legitimately because everyone had sugar. I remember my dad took me to that. It was awesome.
There you go.
For me as a Hurricanes fan, if I had a choice, I would rather go to the Big 12.
Of course,
to be honest,
that's where you guys belong.
The Big 12.
I mean, that's the only place you have a chance of being successful. You should have known, Tony, coming in here, the energy that you're gonna get. I wasn't gonna be tender.
Florida is a little bit overrated. You guys got all that hype because of Tebow. Let's not get too excited. Tebow brought you those championships. To be honest.
Look, I mean, that's how that works, right? You get a good guy that brings you championships. I mean, that's outside of Alabama, you have a guy that kind of gets it done for you. But I will say, and I have been pretty adamant about this. I think, look, Florida, we do have an ego about ourselves, and we do ride high from 06 and 08. However, your Miami's ego goes a lot farther back. Okay.
Actually, Florida State can get even worse. Florida State's even worse with their ego. I've dealt with Florida State fans. I live in Sarasota and Tampa, dude. Florida State fans can get even worse than Florida and Miami fans, dude.
Yeah,
I
Florida
mean,
State fans do stuff. We can agree on that.
very
Tony.
humble.
everybody on this call,
Holly
we have
seems
the
very
most
humble.
recent national championship.
Holly is not humble, okay, guys. This is where I can't. This is where Holly pisses me off because he's very good at hiding it. This is where his maturity comes into play, okay? Because he's very good at tricking you guys. He's a little twat, all right? Don't let him fool you. If you came on the other night when he was buzzing, that was the true Holly. Go back and watch that episode when he was getting spicy and dicey and he starts spewing out his info, okay? When Holly gets drunk and Holly's losing, then he's not so humble anymore. We got lucky that the first time we go live, he won. We didn't record ourselves 2 years ago when they lost and they couldn't even kick it off the tee. Okay. Holly didn't talk to us for a week. Holly loses in a baseball game, doesn't communicate to us for a week. We come into work, he's cussing me out. Okay. He's fooling you. All right, guys. And this is why I call his ass out, because he tries to act like, oh no, it's just, so big deal. It's whatever. Fuck you, Steve. You know what you're doing.
No, hold on. I don't curse you out. I just suck all the fun out of it so that you can enjoy the win.
Shut up.
Oh, gee. This is self-deprecation at its best.
Exactly.
Holly's the worst of them because Holly kind of just like, and Holly only is a Florida fan. I will say, Gator fans, we do dominate in a lot of other sports, right? Like we're usually basketball struggled for a little while, obviously, but baseball we're a powerhouse. Softball we're a powerhouse. Gymnastics we're a powerhouse. Swimming.
That's a statistic. That's an objective.
Since Michael Phelps left, I think your swim team has.
Well,
started...
Phelps didn't go to Florida, but I appreciate the compliment.
Oh, Caleb Dressel, my mistake. Caleb.
Yeah, Dressel.
Which was the dumbass that could.
We had Ryan Lochte too. That's it.
The University of Florida is consistently the top 3, if not top 2, athletic program in the country. Second only, I think, to Stanford.
Like overall,
does Florida have good academics? Like, are they in the AAU by chance? Is Florida in the AAU with like teams like Stanford and Notre Dame and stuff?
They are.
The University of Florida is the only institution in the country that's both a top 5 public university and a top 5 overall athletic program. Well, actually, I'm sorry. All the UCLA people out there are going to kill me. No, there's like UCLA, Michigan, Florida,
Ohio State.
No, Ohio State's not a top. They're not a top public school. Yeah, like this is another thing that I don't understand. By the way, why Florida can't recruit better is the combination of athletics and academics is unmatched. There's really only 2 other schools in the country that I think can match that, and that's the University of Michigan and UCLA. That's it.
I think the issue is the coaches you guys, Florida hires sometimes don't know. Mullen didn't want to recruit. He refused to recruit. Do you agree, High Top? Mullen really didn't recruit.
Don't get Steve started.
No, he treated it like an NFL job. It wasn't his favorite thing. Just like Spurrier.
I think what Mullen did is kind of what Elliot's talking about. Cali Burba is he had the ego, like just the way he talked. We talked about that the entire time that he was at Florida. He just felt like you should want to come to Florida, which is a good mindset. But none of these kids now, they don't know who Michael Jordan is. And so the reason I mentioned that is like they don't understand.
They're LeBron fans.
Yeah, they don't understand like the culture of what Florida, what it represents. So you have to sell it to these kids, and Mullen didn't do that.
Yeah.
Mullen's pro was that he played for that, coach during that national championship team. His downfall was that he coached that national championship team and felt
and for me, that's the same mentality that a guy like Manny Diaz had. He said he had that same mentality as Mullen. Just because it's Miami, you should come here. That's how Diaz had that. Manny Diaz had that same Mullen mentality and stuff like that.
Do you think Cristobal is a good fit for Miami?
Yeah, honestly, yes.
So did you think
the guys we've hired?
Did you think Mark Rick was a good fit?
He came too late. If he came it was too late. Like he came in he built the foundation a little bit. He started building it up a little bit, but the coaches after Manny Diaz kind of screwed it up and stuff like that. And I think Cristobal is going to start. To me, Once Saban leaves, I think it's between either Cristobal or Sweeney to replace Saban at Alabama.
No shots. Bama takes Cristobal. I think, to me, Cristobal is just another version of Mark Richt, a guy that you guys got from a school that did just enough but couldn't get it done, and so both schools moved on, and you're going to end up falling flat in their face. I'm not sold on Cristobal for you guys. There's no way that Sweeney. Yes, I agree with the Sweeney. There's no way Cristobal gets
no. But the issue is that contract. Sweeney just signed like a massive 20-year, like a 10-year deal or something like that recently.
Cristobal is going to be a wide receiver coach next year.
He's an offensive line coach. What are you talking about?
But yeah, close enough.
Mario Cristobal?
Yeah,
he's going to be a wide receiver coach next year. I know what he is now, but I'm saying what he's going to be. He's going to be like Jeff Scott. He's going to be like Jeff Scott.
G5 Bill. You should be quiet with G5 Billy as their coach.
We had this 6 hardest schedule and won more games than Miami. What are you talking about?
You lost your top recruit in your class.
Oh, and Jaden?
This is where it gets funny.
So did you to Dion. You lost yours too.
Dion, he only went there because
you lost your number one recruit to Florida, and then they lost him to somebody else. Hold on a second. You had your number one. They lost Rashad. They're calling you out for losing your number one.
Hold on. I'll take both of your asses on really quick. 1 second. Steve, first of all, we lost multiple number of recruits, still whooped your ass in recruiting. Next, and then Tony, you lost yours to Coach Prime. Embarrassingly on signing day.
I can understand why he went to Coach Prime because Coach Prime is a Hall of Famer.
We didn't lose ours. We told ours to kick rocks. It's different.
Yeah, don't act all humble and act like you guys didn't lose it to Arizona State and your collective messed that up.
The collective didn't mess anything up. We didn't lose him to Arizona State. Jaden Rashada was searching all around to find a home. Arizona State didn't come pick him up. And Kelby Collins, thank you, Soderquist, was our number one recruit. And he's an absolute beast. Should have been a 5-star. He won the MVP at the Under Armour game. Jaden Rashada looked like a piece of cardboard. Okay,
he is.
As did Kermani McLean.
Honestly, for me, Kermani, as a Hurricanes fan, I wanted him, but to be honest, I think it would have been better for him to go out of state. To be honest, as a Hurricanes fan, I would have rather, because he's going to have more pressure if he goes to out of state to a team like Colorado or like Oregon. If he went to Oregon or something like that, it's a lot harder for his family. He's going to have his family coming down to the games all the time and stuff like that. And the family's going to complain that we're not playing him.
So here's the thing. You're never going to hear last thing, Tony, I got to let you, I've got Graham Mertz calling in. Appreciate you calling in though, but I also don't want to get I think YouTube's going to block me for having a Miami fan on too long. You're never going to hear about Jaden Rashada ever again. Kermani McLean, you'll hear about him because Coach Prime will put him on, and Miami will be lucky to win 5 games. And good luck.
We're winning 8 games this year.
I mean, in the ACC, when you play Louisville, Duke, and Boston College, I hope so.
Well, we have Clemson and Florida State on our record.
And you'll lose
2 L's.
No. No, we're beating Florida State this year. Let's not go that far.
With who? With Tyler Van Dyke? That's the guy. Yeah. That's the guy that's going to carry you to the motherlands.
They have Jordan Travis.
Yeah, Jordan. I'll take Jordan Travis. I would take Jordan Travis. He's at least a top 5 Heisman favorite who balled out last year. And I don't even like saying that. Steven, shut up. I don't need to hear from you. Okay. I would take Jordan Travis over Tyler wannabe Van Dyke.
First of all, he's an athlete playing quarterback. To be honest, Jordan Travis is a running back.
He threw for over 3,000 yards last year.
And Tyler Van Dyke is me without a bucket hat. Like what? You know what I'm saying? Like put me back there, coach. Shit, I can throw for more than 10 touchdowns and 1,000 yards. He threw like 1,500 yards.
Actually, he got injured last year, so let's not.
I was waiting for that. I would still throw for 1,500 yards with half an arm in 6 games.
Yeah, right. Let's not go that far.
Come test the arm.
I'll see you later.
Test the arm.
I'll see you later.
Later, Tony.
I love this show.
I love the when Miami fans calling. Is this the Graham Mertz? If it's not, just say yes. Make me feel better about myself.
Yes, for sure.
Fuck yeah. You definitely don't sound like a Graham Mertz.
No, I'm kind of sick at the moment, but the grind don't stop.
What's up, quarterback? Quarterback one.
I don't know what this guy's going on about Tyler Van Dyke. They were doing the same thing last year. The off-season champs of Tyler Van Dyke's gonna win the Heisman because he's their hero apparently. But
I don't get it, dude.
It was all they got.
Did he got?
What are they gonna say? Our QB1 sucks.
He got benched at the Duke game, bro. Duke is a basketball school, and they're barely even that anymore. You got benched against Duke. Like, what are we talking about, Miami? Like, go ahead.
I have a question.
Yes.
Did we determine that this really is Graham Mertz, or is this like a running joke that I'm?
No, the moment he spoke, he didn't have that quarterback one just pumped to his throat. You know what I'm saying? There's no way I'd want that voice coming in and leading my pack. No disrespect, Heis Mertz, but if you would have came with a little more thunder to your voice, I'm like, yeah, this is Graham. Watch it actually be Graham, and I just shitted on his parade.
That's why I was like, what?
He's like, "Fuck you, dude. I am Graham." I'm like, oh shit, we're fine.
I'll never be on this show again.
Man, we're not winning 5 games next year, boys. This is Graham.
No, we're going 15-0. We're winning the Natty next year.
He doesn't even know how many games we play.
Yeah. But
for poo-poos and giggles, let's take a look at what old Tyler Van D did.
He threw
last
for like
year.
1,800 yards. I swear to God, because somebody was talking
1,800 yards.
I'm like a
1,800
fucking
yards,
encyclopedia,
10
guys.
touchdowns and 5 picks.
And I said 10 touchdowns. What did I tell you? Because somebody was talking shit that he was better than Graham Mertz. Go look up Graham Mertz stata.
I'm not even going to bother looking that up.
He has a higher QBR. He has more yardage, more touchdowns. Now, again, he played more games, but that's not my problem. You suck, Tyler.
Let's see. They trotted a guy out there named Ja'Cory Brown. I remember him for about 2 seconds of his life.
They didn't get anybody. This is the part that was confusing to me. Yeah. They had a top 5 class last year. They had offensive linemen. They had running backs, and then mostly just offensive linemen. And Mark Fletcher, I'm pretty sure, is their highest rated running back, which is high. But like he was going to be our second guy. I think he was higher. He was higher rated than Trayon. But I don't feel like he's the guy that can carry a class. He's not like a Jarrett Gibson or a Bowens. So I'm looking at him like, who the hell who y'all blocking? Like, where's the future here? You didn't get a quarterback last year. Now, technically, we didn't either. But at least we went to the transfer portal, though. We made moves in the transfer portal. They didn't even get anybody in the transfer portal, and we already have our 2024 quarterback. They don't even have that yet.
Yeah, they trotted out Ja'Cory Brown. Ja'Cory Brown gave them 230 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 picks. Nice. I also remember Jake Garcia for 2 seconds during the Florida State Miami game. He actually gifted us 2 interceptions, so I remember him very well. He gave the Miami Hurricane offense 800 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 4 picks. And there is your 2022 Miami Hurricanes quarterback room.
If it's Miami FSU though, I'm going for Miami.
Oh yeah, I get that part.
Really?
Fuck FSU.
That's so. I love that game because someone's got to lose. Oh.
Yeah, but typically FSU's been like the bigger brother. So Miami only can ruin FSU's year. FSU's not going to ruin Miami's year. You know what I mean?
I guess. I really, really, really hate Miami, and I really, really, really hate FSU. God almighty.
Yeah, every once in a while when Florida and Miami play, when people ask me who I want to win the game, I say a missile. That's who I root for. No,
but seriously, who would you pick in that game?
Oh God.
It's Florida. It's Florida. I know it is. That's why you don't want to say it.
It's not. It's not. I would pull for Miami.
No, you don't.
I would.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
That doesn't objectively make sense because Florida State is your arch nemesis, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend, which in that scenario is Florida.
Yeah, but I don't want Florida to win a ping pong match against Nazi Germany, and I'm a Jew.
Wow.
Well, you know that we win every other sport, so you know that's already false.
Yeah, I don't care. I never went Florida to win anything ever.
But we do. We
That's
just
the one-
that is the one thing I will say about FSU, and this is why Florida fans are the greatest fans out there, because you guys literally just show up for 4 months out of the year. Like Miami shows up for like 2 months because they're good. They're like, they think they're good for like 30 days, and then they're not good, and then they go away.
Yep.
But FSU fans, like you guys no longer exist. I haven't heard from you guys in I don't know how long. There's a few of them like on the roll up neck where they're kind of like they're trying to spice things. You know what they do? You know how I know FSU fans don't exist? Because all like the 3 FSU fans that do exist on Twitter, they spend their time trolling Florida fans. That's how they make their money.
Right, because nobody cares about Miami. I get it. That's the point.
That's not what I said. No, that's not. You're not listening, Steve. Put the beer down. I said Florida State, the 3 fans that exist, troll Florida fans because they know
because we hate them.
Well, no, because they know Florida State's not going to react. It's the same thing with Miami. Look, 247 does it. They know Florida fans. We're passionate. We're a little buck wild. We're passionate. We're here all year. We're all year round.
You asked me a question, which one I hated more. I gave you an answer. Why are you debating with me on which one I hate more? It's my hate. I know I know the hate. It's mine.
That's not what I said.
I would 100% root for Miami against Florida in anything.
That's not what I said. You see what I deal with, guys? I'm glad that this was recorded to realize like you're like not even listening to what I'm saying.
I'm trying to do the Flash. Tallahassee?
Huh?
Does Steve live in Tallahassee?
No, he doesn't know. He doesn't know how to get there.
Oh,
he lives in Jax.
I'm in Jax.
Yeah,
he lives with me. We're together, Cal or Elliot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he lives in my own hometown.
I mean,
I'm from Atlantic Beach, actually, not Jackson.
Nobody lives in Tallahassee, Elliot.
I mean, unfortunately, I did for like 6 months. It was not, or a year. It was a dark period.
Yeah, that's prison. That's fine. That's not living there. That's just being.
You don't have to put yourself out there like that, Cal. Like, I mean, look, I'm sure it was a big misunderstanding.
Like I know we're getting close, but like you just keep that to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they do have a pretty fancy prison there.
I don't. Okay. I don't recall that.
Why were you there for 6 months? Work?
No, I did 2 semesters at TCC.
Oh, okay.
Tallahassee Community College. What?
There you go.
So prison.
Go.
What's up?
Yeah, pretty much. There's nothing in Tallahassee.
It's the armpit.
No, that's what I was asking. Like, it's not like.
It's like
because Gainesville is a bustling metropolis right now.
No. Wait. No, I can speak with authority on this topic. Tallahassee is an island. If you've never actually pull out a map and look where Tallahassee is, like you're in the middle of you're just on 10, and then there's like Tallahassee, and then you got to travel like 2 hours to get to Jacksonville.
Yep.
And like you can go back west to
it is not a scenic drive. It is 2 hours of just cow pastures and trees. That's
my question is, how did that become the capital of Florida? Of all the cities in Florida you could pick, and you could pick Tallahassee. That's just
like how is Miami not the capital?
Okay, all right. Graham, you're really sliding off here, bud.
No, I'm saying geographically and how big the city is.
I would think Orlando. If we're gonna go off that, I would say Orlando or Jacksonville. To be honest,
that's true.
Like, I mean, Jacksonville is huge. I mean, like especially Duval County. It's like the largest county in the United States. Duval is. I mean, like it's huge.
I think
not population wise, just area wise. So.
Yeah, it is.
I want to say when they picked Tallahassee that a lot of like central and southern Florida wasn't like modernized yet. Like it wasn't like a lot of the smaller cities hadn't become the size of the cities that they are. Orlando wasn't Orlando that it is now, and things like that.
Look at that.
So it was more of Tallahassee wasn't coming in from the south than from the north.
We need to petition DeSantis and have him change it.
They've tried that about 100 million times.
I just don't get it. Like, I mean, at least in Jacksonville, you have like it's near Ponte Vedra, it's near Fernandina, St. Augustine, all that culture there, and like everything is just like, Jacksonville's kind of
like the equivalent of saying like, why is it the capital of New York in New York City?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not conducive.
But here's what sucks: if you win the lottery or a scratch-off ticket, you have to go to Tallahassee. Like
if you win the lottery or a scratch-off
miserable
ticket,
is
you don't
that?
care how far you're driving.
How miserable is that? Like that's where you go to celebrate is Tallahassee. Like that's awful.
It could be worse. You could go to Gainesville.
Honestly, it should be Tampa. You got the Hard Rock
Hey,
right
that makes
there.
sense.
Like if I'm the government, that's what I do. I pluck the government building right next to the Hard Rock. There you go.
I don't know. Hey, Holly, have you been to Gainesville recently?
Yeah. I was
year.
there a couple times last year with
I mean,
with
it's
old Num
really,
there.
it is. I mean,
it's a good time. Yeah, that's what I was about to say, dude.
It is way better. It's not like Waldo, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
yeah,
To
I mean, it's a
your
lot better
point,
than that.
I even said that to Shelton one of the days that we were there, that I was surprised how much they had built up that city compared to the last time I was down there. All things considered, I thought it was a lot nicer, and it was surprising actually.
It's so close to 75 and everything, so you have access north and southbound. You know, so much around that area. Culturally speaking, so I mean, it's another positive for recruiting. So I mean, like, I don't like before, you know, it was like, oh, why would anybody want to go to Gainesville? And you know, it's a small town, blah blah blah. Now it's like it's bumping. I heard from what I hear. I mean, I've lived up in Georgia now for over 25 years now, so I haven't been to games, but I went to one of last year's games, but I haven't been in a while. But
there's just something like kind of just a quaint, nice, like just really warm feeling small hometown vibe when you go to Gainesville. Like that's not me being biased. Like a place sucked, it sucks. But like you can go to Gainesville, and when it's like cold outside, you kind of get like this wintry northern vibe while you're in Gainesville. Like you're kind of tucked away. It's its own little city, and it is building up. A lot of nice areas, beautiful homes around there. And just I don't know, man. It's just I hear what you're saying. You could definitely knock on it a little bit because on the way there, you're like, where the hell am I going? But every time I drive right into Gainesville down University Boulevard, I get goosebumps. I love seeing all like the old buildings and just the culture. And then you see all the beautiful trees, and then you got the swamp to your left, the O-Dome, and then all the bars and the frat houses. Like it's just fucking electric. I love it.
It is the quintessential college town. That to me, that should be a huge recruiting plus. Like if you want to go have the quote college experience there, I challenge any other city that is going to be more focused on the university. That's the down draw to, or the drawback to Tallahassee and Miami. Tallahassee, I live there. It's not a college town. It's not. There's too much other stuff going on. And Miami is definitely not a college town. It's a major metropolitan area. Sure. Everything in Gainesville revolves around being a student at the University of Florida. I remember trying to order wings. I had the audacity to order wings at 2:00 in the afternoon, and the stupid place wasn't even open because they didn't open until 4, because they were open from like 4 to 3:00 in the morning because it's a college town.
Yeah.
That's how much of a college town.
So what I love too, like with the college town, my aunt, she's lived there forever. So I would always go and stay. She's an FSU fan, unfortunately. So it's really hard to have that. But I always go stay with her, and she lives kind of right outside the edge of it. And I remember as a kid growing up, going there, we would order food, and they had like they kind of had like Uber Eats and all that before Uber Eats, because you have to have those in college towns where you could order from like 5 restaurants, and it's like your wings and pizza and like a Jimmy John's, and they had like, it's the company, like there were like 3 things, but you could order and it comes right, it's at your place in like 10 minutes. Like that wasn't a thing when I would, like 10 years ago. Now obviously with Uber Eats it's normal, but it was because of college town, because everything just existed right here. You could have something like that exist back then.
And everything in the city is geared towards the students, right? Like riding the bus, you get your little ID card, hop on the bus, ride the bus. Like it's just, dude, I need to go back. Now I'm psyching myself up, dude. I need to go back.
Right? Dude, it's just, I know like we're Gator fans, but like I every time I go there, I'm like, fuck, I could live here. Now, I typically don't go outside of football season, so I know like during the summer it's a little blitzy there. But you're not far from the beach, and far from kind of going wherever you need to go either. That's kind of the big thing. Like I live in St. Augustine. I'm 4 minutes away from the beach. Guess how many times I go to the beach? Never. The beach sucks. Just get a nice ass pool. Like my aunt has a beautiful pool. Like we just go and hang out there. Like you know what I mean? Like nowadays.
That's why I moved up to Georgia. You get seasons plus. I mean, I grew up on the beach, 5 blocks from the beach. And it's just like It wasn't that. You get sand everywhere. You know what I mean? And I surfed it. I did everything. It's just like it's not worth it. You know, I'd rather just jump in a pool.
Yeah, the surfing, it's fun, but it gets old quick. But yeah, like the salt there is definitely nice, but like the seasons is definitely something. And you kind of get in a weird sense, you get 4 seasons a little bit in Gainesville. It's weird. Not, it's obviously not getting snow, but it definitely kind of cools down a lot more because it is kind of surrounded by all those trees and tucked into the center. So when a nice cold front comes through, it gets pretty chilly there.
No, I got a theory.
There's Graham.
Hold on. I got a pretty crazy theory about Florida football. I just need to say it at some point and how it fell off the past years. All right. Have y'all, if you've been to Gainesville, have you been to Ballyhoo's?
No.
It's a restaurant down there. Well, anyways, they had like a huge, it was like a piece of wood, but it was Tim Tebow basically. And all I'm saying is it rotted away 2 years ago, which is when the great downfall started of 6-6 and then 6-7 and then 6-7 again. So I think we need to get that thing rebuilt because.
So there was like a statue like structure carved wood of Tim Tebow at Ballyhoo's.
Yeah.
That rotted out, and since it's rotted, we've rotted as a school.
Yeah, essentially, and I'm just saying, like,
I totally thought this was going to be one of those things where like
a few words, but
like Jesus, and ever since that jelly roll disappeared.
Holy shit! Get the fuck out of here. Man, a few words, but I mean look, there's some clout there.
Holly, I got a question for you.
What you got, bud?
So, I think that Mike Norvell is pretty close to Dan Mullen as far as building teams from the transfer portal.
Okay.
So do you know what's
hold on? How do you drop a line like that and then follow it up with that, Graham? It's like shooting a 3-pointer then airball. Like what?
Hold on. You gotta let me finish.
My bad.
What is FSU gonna do without Travis? Because I mean, I haven't seen anything about them recruiting a QB. So,
well, as of right now, they have Nate Cromanhook, who is in our 2023 class. So he's a little ways out before he'll be ready to play. We have Tate Rodemaker, who is on the roster right now. I do not believe that Tate Rodemaker is the future of Florida State. By any stretch of the imagination, he's if anybody was watching the FSU Louisville game, he's the guy that came in for Travis. And for some odd reason, Louisville just decided to run man coverage on Johnny Wilson the entire time. So it made for just a pretty big target that he just threw to over and over and over again. So yes, this is absolutely going to be a situation where we have to go back to the portal looking for a guy with a minimum of about 2 years of eligibility left until we can hope that either Brock Glenn or Cromanhook are ready to play.
All right, well, y'all got to fix y'all's defense, man, because you let a team with basically one wide receiver.
Look at that. Graham's right back on the horse, boys.
He's back in the game, this guy.
Like, all y'all had to do was guard Ricky, and we saw what Ricky did, except then AR decided to have probably one of the worst halves of his life. But we don't talk about that.
I mean, that's subjective. I think he had a great second half, but that's just me.
Shut up, Steven.
That's what I thought when I think it was 2020 where we played Stetson Bennett or someone, and Dwayne Mathis or somebody hit that guy on the sideline when he was warming up. I was so excited. But
so I like going back to your wood theory. I like it's either the wood theory or the shoe throw. That's kind of where we're at with this, I think.
See, I think the shoe throw is it.
Dude, the shoe. Don't even say that. We need to stop saying that because like we just need to. It's. I
hate LSU. I hate LSU. I hate LSU.
It's just culture, man.
My God, why did you throw that shoe? Why?
Okay, so Cal, here's a question
of the
for
culture.
you. LSU and Florida State play in the first game of the year. Who do you pull for?
LSU,
right? That was I watched that game. What was I thinking?
They're playing again. They're playing again, Elliot.
What's
I
up?
hate FSU. I'm going to pull for LSU over FSU any day of the week.
All day. That's an easy one.
Go
That's
Easy.
that's easy for me. Like, I don't care what team they are. I'm going to pull for any SEC team until they play against us, and I'm going to root for us. All we got to do is just win our games. Who cares what everybody else does? Just win your game.
State won that game, right?
Yeah, barely.
Yeah, because LSU
LSU missed an extra
shanked the field goal. Yeah, extra point at the end of the game. Holly was crapping his drawers during that game.
That's not the only reason. Florida State played a decent. It's not like Florida State didn't actually have to put an offense out there.
You fumbled on the 1 yard line, Steve.
So and we still won. So
yeah,
we clearly
but
had to
rewind the game. Let's rewind the game. Like LSU didn't play for 3.5 quarters of that game. Like they were non-existent for 3.5 quarters, and then y'all gave up 18 points in the last No, not
for sure.
18.
Yeah, they owned us in the fourth quarter. They were up and down the field.
Yeah. So I mean, it's finally LSU actually. It wasn't that FSU or LSU was horrible and FSU beat it downright bleeding. It was just that LSU was playing horribly. I mean, this was a new coach, a whole new team. For half the LSU's roster. I mean, it took them a little while to start clicking. If they would have won that game if they didn't miss that extra point. If they went to overtime, LSU would have won that game.
LSU's clapping to FSU this year, 100%. 1-0. Fact. Mark.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we fumbled on the 1 yard line with the opportunity to go up by 14 points with 9 minutes left in the game. We fumbled on the 1. Now, look, that's our job, our fault for fumbling. But if we get that ball in the end zone, it's a 14-point game with 9 minutes, and it doesn't.
Who else did that? Who was that did that? Michigan. Didn't they do that last year against TCU?
Yeah, they
1
did.
yard line.
Oh yeah, went the whole way back. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, shoulda, woulda, coulda.
I think a more fun game because FSU, everyone hates FSU. There's really not, like you said, not a team. Let's do this, guys. Let me ask you, the Gator fans this question: Georgia or Tennessee? Who are you going for?
Georgia.
It's not a missile. Don't do a missile. Let's pick a team.
Georgia.
Vols,
Okay.
100%. I live pretty close to
golly.
Athens, and I've had
dude, you are gonna give me fucking whiplash with just how awful your answers are. You go from being a hero to zero within a matter of seconds.
I got to deal with Georgia fans barking all the time, and I can't.
Okay, and Tennessee fans can't put a sentence together. What are we talking about here? I prefer the barking.
Okay. I don't. I look at this. I look at this long term. I look at it like a long term thing. So who has a better chance of beating us?
Everybody.
Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia has a better chance of beating us. So I'm going to pull for Tennessee to beat Georgia. So when we go in to play them, Georgia already has a loss. So if we happen to lose to them, we only have one loss in the SEC versus the 2 losses. Against them having no losses. So we have to make
that's like playing a shell game at all times.
I disagree. I'd rather have Georgia undefeated, so when we beat Georgia, we look better. Or if we lose to Georgia, we don't look as bad.
Okay,
I pick Georgia over Tennessee.
I can see that perspective. I mean, I can see that. I do hate Tennessee. I do hate Tennessee more than I hate Georgia, and I live in Georgia now. But I do hate Tennessee more.
Why? You know what? I grew up. I don't hate Tennessee because we just beat them every year. So it's like. Now, granted, we didn't do it this year, but it's
Tennessee fans, in my opinion, are delusional. They're worse than sometimes. Georgia fans truly don't bother me. The parking.
I hate Tennessee for one reason only, and that's Rocky Top.
Yeah, that is annoying.
That is so annoying. That is just so annoying to me.
I do love what I do love about Tennessee, and I respect is the stadium. I think is gorgeous, and I love the checkered. I always say, if there's an away game that I want to go to, it's Tennessee. I could give 2 shits about going to Death Valley. I have zero desire to go to Athens. Those schools don't pique my interest. Kentucky, stab myself.
Okay,
in the neck.
so that brings up another topic. So with all these changes in the SEC and everything going on, they're talking about making them basically turning it into one division where you don't have an East and a West, correct? And so they're also talking about,
I thought it was gonna be I thought it was gonna be pods or something like that, right? 4 pods.
No, from what I understand, there's different things up. They haven't solidified or decided exactly what they're gonna do.
You got a name tag on, William? Are you at work?
Yeah, I am. I am at work. So
on the show.
I just don't have any patience. I don't have any patience right now. So
Okay, good. Thank you.
anyway, so what I'm saying is like they have the top two teams would play against each other. That's one of the synopsis they're going to do.
So it's
with
just
that
top to
being
bottom?
said, yeah. So just like everyone play. They do the schedule how they're doing it. Where this, what is it? We get
there's
9 or 10 SEC teams or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the top two, instead of having divisional play, you have the top two teams play in for the conference
SEC.
championship. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
I like that.
So, like, I kind of like that too. From this standpoint, you can always end up playing. If you're number one or number two, you're going to go to the championship game or whatever. I like that. But the thing is when you start pulling that, you're not playing the same teams all the time. These rivalries are going to change. First of all, they're going to change because you're not going to be playing the same teams that you always played before. And the other thing is that you're going to have the Georgia-Florida game. They're already talking about now getting rid of that, like in Jacksonville, like because
I think it's a lock.
I know. I mean, like, what are your feelings about that? I mean, like I'm
Wait,
so.
what?
I mean, I've been a Gator fan for like 40 years.
I'm saying it's a lock. It's not like actual lock, but it feels like it's going to happen.
Yeah, they'll move it. They'll move
even
it.
Even Uncle Lou said it's inevitable. Yeah. I think with the merger happening, it's going to throw a wrench in everything. Where these games that have been consistent forever are no longer consistent is what's happening.
Yeah, I think the SEC is looking at a 9 conference game schedule,
which I like. I like that. I hate the cupcake games. I say that all the time. Look, here's why I love where it is going. That every game, in my opinion, is going to be an exciting game, right? Playing Texas, playing Oklahoma. Like, that's how it should be. Like, how the NFL, in my opinion, week in and week out is exciting because, for the most part, they're all pretty evenly matched until they're not. But, like, when we play, like, South Carolina, or, like, we play, like, McNeese State, like, that's, what the hell? Like, I wait all week to watch us play McNeese State. You know what I mean? Now, I will be excited to see because our team is young to get some reps in. That is exciting to me. But I don't know, man. Everyone needs to rock and roll with it.
I think they need to put those non-conference games at the beginning of the season, and let them be like a preseason thing, so you can get before you get into the SEC schedule, and then you're still gonna have your bye week in there or whatever.
You've got your week. The problem is though, then you kick off college football with and it's not very exciting.
Well, I mean that's just the SEC though. I mean, like not all the other conferences are going to do the same thing. So you're going to have other. I mean, if you're just a football fan in general, as an SEC fan, yes, you are correct. But as just a football fan in general, you're still going to have the other teams, the other bigger games playing at the beginning of the season like they do. My whole thing is just taking away that it's like seems like with all the rule changes and all the different things, you're like taking away just some of the tradition of football in general, just like of college football. Then you got the NIL and you got all these things. All these things are changing so much. And it's like, to me, it's just too much, too fast. And maybe it's just I'm older.
Look, hold on, Elliot. I think these changes were going to happen eventually. And it's like either we rip it off like a Band-Aid or we watch it happen progressively. Like that's kind of where we're at. Go ahead, Elliot.
Yeah.
I'll play devil's advocate. I like the cupcake games because when Florida played the cupcake games, it always teed us up to play Tennessee. When Florida started messing with the schedule and we didn't play those 2 cupcake games before we played Tennessee, every year that happened, stuff went sideways. I like it because it warms up the team to get ready to play. Like if everyone's going to play a ridiculous schedule,
yes,
great. But I care about championships. So I don't care if I play a bunch of cupcakes. If I got to play Georgia, LSU, and in the SEC championship, which is going to be Alabama, you can take your strength of schedule and shove it where the sun don't shine. Because if you play those teams and you win, like you're in, right? I feel like the irony here is that like the USCs and the Oregons of the world should be in the playoffs every year. Like you're the top dogs on the West Coast, but you can't get it done.
Dog
They just
shit.
keep losing. Yeah, but it's but so like when Florida goes 6-7, I want to be like, okay, Oregon, you had a better season, right? But how did you do against Georgia? How'd that go for you? And don't get me started on Utah, right? Like, we played Utah. Which team actually won the Pac-12? Was
Florida.
it Utah?
No,
Right.
Florida did.
Exactly. Like, your champion lost to, what do we get in the SEC East? 4th, 5th? Like, it's not that's my problem with Florida having all of these. Like, it's just, I don't want to be a situation where the SEC just eats itself, right? Texas coming in, Oklahoma coming, like if you're going to play that week in and week out.
Yeah, but I think
there is
the
a positive to that though,
the
because they're
extension of 12 teams.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think I think you're thinking of, like, yes, how it is right now, it would not be good. But with the extension of 12 teams, I think we eliminate that, and we're going to see all you got to do is just make the playoff now. So I think we're going to see a lot more 2 and 3 loss teams.
Yeah, you're just going to be top 12.
Yeah, you got to be just top 12.
Top 12. You just got to be top 12.
And if you lose,
you don't even have to be in the conference. You don't even have to be a conference champion. You could be number 4 in your conference and be like 9-3 in the SEC with a strength of schedule and still be in the top 12.
What I see happening is you're going to have here's the spots. That's how it's going to fill out. You're going to have the ACC champion. You're going to have the Big Ten champion, the Pac-12, Big 12, and the SEC. 100%. There's 5 spots, right?
Yeah.
The remaining spots, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw the last 8 spots, 5 or 6 of them being in the SEC. Yeah. Especially with Texas being in there now, Oklahoma, those 2 always get a nod if they're doing pretty well. You're going to Georgia.
What was it this year? I don't have access to anything, but if we pulled the top 12 at the end of the year.
I got you.
I'm curious. Obviously, it was the 4 team. It would be TCU, Georgia, Michigan.
But what do you want to call SEC teams? Or so honestly, the Pac-12 did finish really well.
The Pac-12 was all scattered all over.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think this is going to tell me after the bowl games, isn't it, Steve?
Just look it up based on week 14.
Yeah, okay, because this has Utah, and Utah wasn't this high after the. Well, after the championship game is what we want, correct?
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, conference championship rank.
Oh no, this should be right. No, because Alabama. Where's Alabama? Oh, there it is. So Alabama was 5, Tennessee was 6. So there's 2 spots because Georgia would be the SEC champion. And that's it. Oh, then LSU was out on the outside looking in at 16, but they've got them at 10-4. So they lost their bowl game, didn't they?
I thought LSU won theirs.
Who did they play?
Nobody cares. It's LSU.
Sorry. Well, I'm trying to count us. So according to this, we would.
Like, what?
Oh yeah, it was Purdue. They curb stomped them.
Huh? So yeah, this isn't right then, because this is after the bowl games. This isn't. So what I need after week 4 after.
I would do week 13.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't even think it has to. Just pick a late week to see where the top 12 are. I'm curious what.
All right, so LSU was 11. That's what I thought. I thought they were higher up. Okay, so Georgia, Michigan, TCU, USC, the Buckeyes, Alabama, Tennessee, Penn State, Washington, Clemson, LSU, and Utah.
So let's just look at it this way. Out of those teams, when you're looking at them, like non-SEC teams, what do you think they would be if you actually took those teams out and put them into an SEC schedule? Like, you really think that Washington would have been what were they, like 9-3, 10-2 or something like that? You really
Penn
think
State was 10-2 too?
Yeah, like, you think they would have been 10-2 if they had to run an SEC schedule?
No.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, no way that team is going to be 10-2. It's like Oregon, when we played Oregon State, they ended up 9-3 or 10-2 at the end of the year, or 11-2 is what they ended up at the very end after beating us 33-3 or whatever. Right? So that team, you put that same team in the SEC, they would not have only lost 2 games. Think about Utah. You put Utah. Where did Utah finish? You think Utah would only lost 2 games, 3 games? They lost to us as one of them, and we finished 6-7. They would have lost to LSU if they played LSU. They would have lost to Georgia. They would have lost to Alabama. They would have lost to Tennessee. I mean, you just keep naming all the teams, and I mean, they could have probably beat Mississippi State and some other, Vandy and all that stuff, even though we lost them. But I'm just saying,
Yeah,
overall, that was garbage. But anyway, I'm just saying, like, even Florida. I mean, I'm gonna give some Holly credit here. Put Florida State in with the SEC. I'm not saying they would have not finished with the same record. They might have had one or two more losses, but they still would have been done better than Oregon State and like Utah and some of these other teams.
No doubt.
That's just my opinion. And the thing was saying with Clemson and some of these other.
Look, I think adding UCLA and USC, the Big Ten is starting to put some put some cheddar in there. That's gonna to me. That's you've now elevated the talent pool that is in the Big Ten. I think that if in Nebraska, I think with Matt Rule coming in, they're going to do well.
Yeah.
So the Big Ten's getting stronger. I think I would like to see them get all these conferences get stronger. I think
it's going to end up coming down to 2 conferences, pretty much. I mean,
and maybe 3. I think the Big 12 is trying to stay alive, but I don't see the Pac-12 staying together. But based on what we talked about with media rights and nobody wants them.
They're going to merge into the Big Ten and Pac-12 probably, and the same with the ACC. They're probably going to merge into the ACC based on their location. They're going to merge into one of those 3 conferences based on their location.
There's just so many schools.
I mean, wasn't it Holly talking about last night about how one of the, I don't know if it was athletic director or whatever, was saying that, hey, it's inevitable we are going to be leaving.
Yeah, it was ours. It was our
guy.
Yeah,
that's what I knew. I thought I heard you talking about it last night. Yeah. This is like.
Yeah, he basically put a shot across the bow. Like there's no more genie in the bottle here, baby. He stated his intentions. I thought about it afterwards. Like I don't expect the ACC referees to give us a fair game for about the next couple of years.
Where's Florida State supposed to go?
We don't know, but probably SEC.
Yeah. Only because of the media rights that come with it. Because as of right now, the grant of rights is held by ESPN, which is now the premier broadcast of the SEC. Whereas the Big Ten, their premier broadcast is CBS, Fox, and NBC. So if we were to leave the ACC and go to the Big Ten, we would actually have to pay ESPN for our media rights. If we were to leave the ACC to go to the SEC, ESPN already has those rights, so it doesn't really cost us anything aside from an exit fee, which is just stroke a check, and you can even do that over like if you just look at what Texas and Oklahoma did with getting that getting out an extra year, that $100 million per school wasn't they didn't have to go down to the bank and get a cashier's check. Like that's amateurized over like 3 or 4 years. They have to pay that back, which is for them is a win.
And they're going to make that back easily.
Yep.
They're going to make that back easily just coming to the SEC. That's what did each school get, like 50 mil or something like that a year or something like that?
It'll be 70 starting in 2025. Yeah, 74 million per year in the SEC in 2025.
Even if you're only doing 20 million a year for 5 years, that's not a big deal. You're still pocketing. And in the next 5 years, it's going to go up even more than 70 eventually. So
yeah, once they basically kind of squeeze out some of the other conferences that aren't able to survive per se, well then now you're talking about potentially even going up to a 24 team conference, because you're only going to have 2 for the most part, depending on what the Pac-10 or Pac-12 or whatever the hell they are now are able to do. But it'll be interesting. And if these other schools, these other conferences aren't able to form any type of a valuable product, from what's left over after the expansion is done, well, then that just makes even more money for the Big Ten and the SEC, because their product is the only product worth even putting on TV. I mean, the Pac-12 right now is talking about using Apple Stream to broadcast their games, and
or CW.
Look, I don't know. Yeah, it's
no. Ion.
That's it. But I mean, look again. You're talking about if you have to go searching for your game and how to watch it, you're not going to watch it. Like a lot of times, I watch a football game just I'm flipping channels and a game's on. Well, I'll stop and watch it. But if your whole platform is on this network that kind of is out of the way of everything, Well, you lose that opportunity
Well,
for somebody to just stop on the channel.
okay, so what the other thing is that I had to say about that is the TV rights you were just talking about, right? So like you add all these teams to your conference, and so you have like 3 channels. You're only going to be able to watch a certain amount of games, because your team before it's like, okay, CBS game of the week, Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, Auburn, like whatever. You get 2 or 3 games on CBS during the day. But now all of a sudden you got all these big games, and they're going to be fighting over which game they're going to actually be televising. And so now the aftermarket, you're going to have to go back to aftermarket streaming and all this, other streaming to be able to watch your games. So from that standpoint, it's going to be like old school where I could never get one. Like growing up, it was very hard to even watch a Florida game. I know Shelton might not understand that, but
I
you
remember
could not watch a Florida game. Like you could not watch a game. Sheldon, I'm 50. So I mean,
I get it, guys. You guys are old, okay?
So but you know what I'm saying? Like, so the convenience of us being able to watch the games now is something that we have now that we did not have when we were growing up. And the access to watching games, and so the fandom that we have now is so more prevalent, I guess you could say, than it was back then. I mean, you were really a diehard. If you were a diehard, you were actually going to the actual physical games, which is why another reason why they're not worried about taking as many seats out of the stadium to rebuild the stadium. They're not concerned about that because not as many people are actually going to the games as was before. I mean, because they're generating so much money.
The in-stadium experience isn't as good as your in-home experience, and going to the game has its perks, but look, it's not like it was in the 90s where you could barely even make out what was happening on the screen. It's a much more different experience now. But to your point about how do they fill with a conference that size, how do they get these teams on? Well, not every game is a nationally televised game. To your point, it used to be hard to find a Florida game. Well, it's not anymore, because even if it's not a nationally televised Florida game, it is a regionally televised Florida game. So if you're in the area, typically it's very easy to find your team in your area. Not to mention that ABC and ESPN are one and the same, right? So you've added another channel there. ESPN already has 6 different channels by itself. When you look at ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, the SEC network, that's 4 off the top of my head. I'm probably missing some.
ESPN
so you can
News,
easily divide that up.
Too.
Yeah, so I mean, look,
News,
ESPN the Ocho. I mean, we can watch it.
ESPN
and plus, they
app,
have streaming.
ESPN
streaming is a
Plus,
big
and all
thing,
that
especially
stuff.
for ESPN, because that audience is already very, very ingrained with watching games on a streaming platform. If you're the Big 12 and you end up with something like Apple or Ion or whatever that is, that's not a natural go-to for how your brain is processing where do I go to watch a game. Having to do it on a streaming platform is a little scary. At least for me, if I was the conference director, I'd be a little bit worried about that.
I mean, I live in Georgia, so I pretty much got to stream a lot of some of the games, especially the aftermarket games, like the McNeese State and things like that.
Those are on the SEC network typically, but yeah, I think there is something to be said of consuming the game in home, just kind of with the luxuries at the house. I mean, I enjoy it, obviously, with streaming and being able to create content. Going to the game, obviously, is something different. Going to a noon game at Gainesville is miserable, but there is definitely something to speak to kind of watching it from the house. Back to kind of what we said before we got on this little tangent here. LSU or Tennessee, who we picking?
Tennessee.
True
LSU.
So I was thinking about that. Like, so when Joey B played for LSU, I love Joey B. That I would probably take LSU. Because just of like the player that was there, I like it's like, and I loved Ed Orgeron. I thought he was an absolute G. Like I think Josh Heupel's is the Michelin man. He's a freaking, he's a dud. So
can we stop and appreciate though what a missed opportunity Florida had because our defense was so poor. I mean, that LSU team, as much as it pains me to say, was phenomenal, and Florida gave them all they could handle. That was like, I feel really, really bad for Kyle Trask because, like, Terrible.
You could. Oh,
sorry. It was our defense was just so terrible that if we had again had just if we just had a sorry defense, right? Not even a good defense, just a sorry defense, Kyle Trask would have a national championship. That's how bad our defense was. Dude, it was such a wasted opportunity. I was such a huge Grantham fan. I really was. And then you start going back and realizing that he just had some really, really good defensive players. And as soon as they left, the recruiting kept caught up. Oh,
Elliot's going through it, boys.
Hey, we're gonna go back.
I mean, it's feeling right now.
We're gonna go back to the shoe for a minute. Like, I just want to say something about the shoe, real quick. To me, that was the end of the end. Like, to me, that the shoe toss, and it wasn't the fact that he threw the shoe, it was the fact of how it was handled. I think that is where all the cultural and everything really started. That dude threw a shoe, got a penalty. We ended up losing the game. But the thing was, after he threw the shoe and got the penalty, he was only out. He didn't even get pulled from the game.
That's a good point.
They let him stay on the field. And I love Marco. I thought he was a decent player. It was just a dumb, not smart play, and it was just like, dude. The thing is, rewatching that thing, I remember watching it live, and I'm sitting there, and I saw him rip the shoe off and toss it, and I was like, oh no. I was looking for the yellow. I knew it was coming. I was like, the way this game is going, like, why would you going to?
The shoe disappeared into the fog. Wasn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the fog came and sat down? It just came out of nowhere, and like anybody beyond like row 7 was like, "What the fuck is going on? I'm done."
Yeah, here. Think about the kick. I mean, the whole fan didn't even see the field goal when McPherson missed the field goal. People didn't even see it. Like, people
they applauded because they're so used to him making it. Like, he's so good at this.
Like look at this guy now, like one of the best kickers in the NFL. And it's just like.
What sucks about the shoe throw is, like, we all sit here and armchair quarterback it and criticize the hell out of him, obviously, for tossing it. Heat of the moment, I would have tossed that bitch shoe, bro.
I would have tossed it right back. No, I would have thrown it down. Like, if he had taken it, if he had just thrown it straight down, right? Just throwing it straight down, there would have been no flag. Like,
so you're saying the shoe throw is a bad thing.
Like,
shoe spiking is okay though. Shoe spiking is okay.
He was like Anthony Richardson, just throwing the shoe like halfway down the field. Like,
he actually hit the target though. So.
Elliot, for a second before you answer, like, just place yourself on the field. You are just full of piss and vinegar. Probably got like 9 shots before the game went through. They've been talking shit all game. You just made the biggest stop of the game, and you're just full of fear, just full of fierceness, and you just rip a shoe off and you just react. Like, I feel myself doing it. Like, it doesn't feel like that out of character where it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he did that. I'm like, no, I got it.
Dude, from the time I was 10 to the time I was 20, 21, I played the game. Never have I ever done anything like that and lost my cool. It's frankly unacceptable. Marco, love you. You're a great player. Unacceptable. Doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That is the problem that Dan Mellon had.
Like, go back to Matt McElwain, Kelvin Taylor, and the throat slash, and like all these different things. Like, yeah, like,
I love that shit. That makes football great.
That's because that's your generation, Joe. No, I'm talking about, like,
the great generation.
It's a different generational thing. Like, the
great
now,
generation.
I was always taught, like, when you score a touchdown, act like you've been there. Like, it's good to celebrate with your friends and everything, but when you're doing things like going into people's faces, slashing the throat, it's like when people do the Gator chomp when they beat us. Like, what in the heck are you doing the Gator chomp?
I love that too. Like, I embrace. I think the caveat is, like, I embrace both sides. Like, I don't just do it and think like I'm not gonna get it back, right? Like, when horns down, love that shit. Like, I don't. For me, I'm the Conor McGregor era, in my opinion. And I just love the shit talking. I love getting under the other person's skin. I mean, hell, I do it on here.
But you're not the ref on the field. And what I'm saying is, these players on the field, I can understand them wanting to do that. You can want to do that, but you've got to be able to control yourself in that type of situation. so you don't cost your team. Marco Wilson throwing the doggone shoe cost his team a game.
No, and look, so that's the part I do agree with. If I wish there wasn't penalties called on that, like touchdown celebrations, what Chad Ochocinco and Terrell Owens do. Love that shit. Like I eat that up. You can't do that anymore. Like that sucks in my opinion.
Or look at the shit. I mean, I'm fine with all that stuff. It doesn't affect anybody else.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is like it doesn't hurt the game. You're just honestly when you throw a penalty, like the shoe throw, that's a little bit over the line because you're taking somebody's shoes off. You're affecting them. So
let's just put a shiv in our tights.
I'm sorry,
but if you were a referee teaching a referee class and wanted to show the class what unsportsmanlike conduct is, that would be the play.
All right. Fair enough.
I mean, he didn't rip the shoe off to throw it down the field. Is what I'm saying. He made a tackle. The shoe came up and was in his hand, and he made a response to throw the shoe down the field.
Okay, so that's what I thought. He didn't like rip it off and then throw it. It happened. Okay, so that's my point.
He made a shoestring tackle, and as he was rolling over, the shoe came off in his hand, and he was like, "What the heck is this shoe?" And he just threw it down the field. So
that backs me up even more. I thought that's what happened, but I couldn't remember. I try to forget that moment. So that to me is you're in the moment, and you're like, "Hell yeah, let's go, baby!" Like even more of a reason why that shouldn't have been a penalty. Hold on, before you let me go. Number two, I think you shouldn't. That if he ripped it off, yes, but you shouldn't be called a penalty for taunting or doing any of that stuff because again, you're not impacting anybody. The reason why it's a thing now is because everyone's a pussy and you can't hurt anybody's feelings.
It's the absolute least to delay a game.
This doesn't hurt anybody's feelings. This doesn't hurt my feelings. If you come out here and you do this, I go, fuck it, let's go, baby. You damn right. So I'm coming down the field and you're getting some of that too, though.
So
I love when another team does that shit. It fires me the fuck up. If I'm on the sideline, I'm like, let's go, baby, let's go.
So those should be. I forget who I was listening to. I think it was one of your podcasts, but I forget who was talking about it. But like. The type of penalty should be
different. Are you plugging another podcast, William? We've gone like
I just said. I'm pretty sure it was one.
Holy shit! I was like, you did this last time, William.
No, I said I'm pretty sure it was one of your streams that I was listening to, and I just wasn't able to call in or talk. But y'all were talking. If I'm not mistaken, you were talking about I think it was Holly was talking about the type of penalties. Like, why is like that shoe toss? That should not have been a 15-yard penalty and automatic first down. Like. Yeah, that was in the throw of a passionate thing. It's not like he hauled off and slapped and hit somebody.
Sure.
Or like an inadvertent helmet-to-helmet hit, whether it's on the offense or defense or anything like that. If it's a doggone like advertent thing, it should be a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. But if it's not, you don't penalize a teenager for throwing a shoe down the field in a close game like that. A 15-yard penalty, right, and an automatic first down. Right, that to me that just changes the whole flow of the game. Like that should have been a 5-yard penalty. If it gave him the first down, so be it. You teach the kid a lesson. Say, hey, don't do that again. That cost us a first down because you gave him 5 yards and things like that. So that's the kind of rules that they need to be changing in there. Not like we were talking about earlier about stopping the clock. On letting the clock run after an incomplete pass. I mean, that's ridiculous. Things like that. It's like
Elliot has a face of disgust. We got to let him go. Like he is not happy. The Saturdays watching TV show, little Elliot is coming out, and we got to hear him.
So I don't actually disagree with the idea that I don't mind taunting. Like you can taunt, but when you physically take an opponent's gear and throw it down the field, you're gonna draw the flag.
Oh, we lost him.
Oh, he was cussing, I guess.
I love his delivery. Go ahead.
You were playing LSU's third string. That was a bunch of freshmen and sophomores. Marco Wilson, you're like literally weeks away from playing in the NFL, and you're celebrating because you made a play that you should have made. Like, that's not a big deal.
That's a point. That's a fair point.
I mean, those are good points, Elliot. That's a good point of what you're saying. It's just the fact that we're letting the referees decide huge games like that. That's
Even
my
the-
that,
even-
that's
even
my
the
only
Super
thing. I'm
Bowl.
not saying that what he did was not stupid and he should know better and that you're that close, you're an experience, you're one of the best players on the team. You should be making those plays on a consistent basis. And matter of fact, to be honest with you, if you had actually been playing the game the right way the whole time and doing what you should be based on the caliber, that
close.
play wouldn't have mattered because you would have been winning by 17 to 20 points anyway.
The
Because
Super Bowl, that holding call, it's stuff like that. It's like when that ruins a game that close. I get it. You're supposed to make the call and it's supposed to be black and white, but something like that, it's just, it wasn't egregious to where, is it a 15-yard value penalty? And I do like that opinion of like, yes, he threw the shoe. It should be a penalty, but
it shouldn't be an automatic first down. That's my whole thing about that penalty. That call you're talking about in the Super Bowl was 3rd and 8. So that was a holding penalty. That should have been a 5-yard penalty and not a first down.
Yes.
So it has still been 3rd and 3 and then replay the down because the guy that held came out and said that he did hold. Like he came out and admitted to it. Like that was like I did what I got called
but
for.
not pass interference.
No, it wasn't. The ball wasn't in the air yet. So
but I don't think he got a 5-yard penalty. I think they got more than that. They got a first down.
They did.
10-yard penalty. 10-yard
Because
penalty,
if a 10-yard penalty and an automatic first down, even if it was 3rd and 20, you still get 10 yards and an automatic first down.
Oh, but you're saying it should have been a 5-yard.
So it should be, even if it's 10 yards, if it gives you the first down, so be it. But in this case, it would have. But actually, they were inside the 20. They were inside the 20 at the time, so it actually would only been half the distance to the goal. So it would not have given them a first down at the time.
Hank brings up a good point because Andrew's saying that he doesn't like when others do the Gator chomp. But, I mean, there's so many iconic gifs that I send to Steve all the time of Tebow doing the chomp very aggressively. We eat that shit up.
What's wrong with that? That's him doing the chomp. That's what you're supposed to do as a fan. Like you don't see the Gators going into.
Why are you yelling at me? I'm
just saying you don't see it. Okay. You don't. I don't go there and do the Homicide chop. Like when I score a touchdown.
I love it. I think it's okay, but you got as an opposing fan, it's just like you hate hearing the dogs bark, right? It's like it's that annoying thing that they do to you, and when you're beating them, you want to give it back to them because it pisses you off when you see it because that's what they use to celebrate. So my point is I like when another team does it because one lets me know that I'm in your head, right? Because you're thinking about doing my celebration when you score. Like no, to be fair, like when we score, we don't do the Seminole thing.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
We do the chomp.
Exactly. So we're
it's
like
branding. You're sponsoring for us.
I mean, from that standpoint, we're living rent free in their heads. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not saying us doing the chomp, Andrew. I'm not saying us doing the Gator chomp is a taunt. I'm not saying I know it's okay, but I'm saying as an opposing fan, you feel inferior by it. So when you have an opportunity to get them back, you see Tebow doing it, and you're just like, yeah, how about that, bro? Suck it back. Like you make fun of them, right? So I get why other people do it, and again, I don't mind it. It lets me know that you're thinking about me.
You guys never
love
let
it.
me finish my argument. I never got to finish my statement.
Everyone shut the fuck up.
Okay, sorry.
So my point about the shoe toss was really about the moment. Shelton and I got into this because he was like, I can see myself doing that. And my response was, no, nobody takes the shoe and throws it if you're coached appropriately. I don't care. I don't care if your emotions are high. Because what I want in a player, I don't want a player who plays on peaks and valleys. I want the consistent player. I want the player that plays his best game when the stuff has hit the fan. I want a player that plays his best game when he's riding high, right? You don't see Alabama players doing that because Saban.
We did last year.
All right. I love Elliott.
Last year.
Hold on. I love this. This is okay, Elliott. I 100% agree with you and disagree with you all at the same time. So let's break this down.
Break it down.
I loved how you said if he's coached properly. I can't argue with that. That is a phenomenal point. If you come in there and it goes, here's how we handle ourselves, you're buying into the culture, you're buying into the team. Yes, I 100% agree with you. I don't think they were coached that way. That's not a negative thing. If you coach a bunch of wild heads because you can manage that energy, there is negatives that come along with that, which is what we saw, but there is pros to that. The reason I say that is I myself operate in that field. And the reason I think we have great success on this channel, why you guys enjoy us, is because I'm a crackhead, I'm a wild child. You come to watch me pop off. You come to watch the high and the crashing low. If I was the same even keel, right? It'd be like, all right, like it is what it is. But you come on like, what are we gonna get today? So there's a pros and cons to it, and I think you can manage it. And some coaches do a good job of doing that. However, there is the con of him throwing the shoe. But again, I can't argue the fact if he is coached properly, that is what they're trying to to get across.
Look, if you asked any parent about my emotional state on the side of a soccer game, trust me, I am not the even-keeled parent. I'm not that guy.
But it's a time and a place. You know that you can do that because there isn't really any consequences of you acting like a fool.
Oh no. The refs they'll kick you off the field. But I'm all about emotion. I never played that way, but I get the emotion. What I'm saying is,
sure,
you gotta keep your emotion in check, especially when you're playing a heated rivalry game in your home stadium. Yes,
and I agree. I think that's I would say my rookie or my inexperience talking, right? Like you have to in that scenario, you are a senior about to go to the NFL draft. This is Bush League shit, and I agree with you 100%. You're right.
Which is the whole point as I was trying to make.
You're not going to hear that ever again. So you guys might want to copy that and paste that and put it somewhere.
Yeah. But that was my whole point of the shoe throw was the end, so to speak, because at that point in time, based on how that was dealt with, you knew Mullen had lost the team. Like you had known that's when I knew that Mullen had lost things. Because you don't discipline. Like on a situation like that, I don't care how good the player is, you have to pull that player and at least sit him for a little bit, make a stand or whatever. And then the next thing then the whole culture of everything, and who knows what Brenton Cox is in, all the other different things that Napier had to deal with when he came in and all that stuff. So like, I'm just saying that was the beginning. To me, it was the beginning of the end of Mullen. Like his whole thing.
Speaking of, I agree. I think your point to him not pulling him off really it said a lot without saying anything at all, and it definitely carried into the following year of like we can kind of do whatever we want. And you saw the guys quit playing. That was a big thing that I keep preaching about Bailey, is that nobody quit last year. Even though they may not have been bought into the system or whatever it may be, you never really saw anybody quit. Real quick, Elliot, to your point about being a crazy parent on the sideline, I have little brothers, and they're playing in a volleyball game. And youth sports, kids suck. It just is what it is. But you always have like your one or two that are really, really good, right? And they're playing a volleyball, and one of the kids, actually said it properly, and the ref called a carry, and I fucking lost it, bro. I went absolutely berserk on this referee. I was like, this kid actually knows how to play the game, and you called. You can hear me?
I can hear.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, Elliot's saying he can't hear me. I absolutely lost it on the referee and got kicked out of the game because I went apeshit. So I mean that's just me though. I'm a hothead. What's up, Cody? You're back at it again, still working. I have a feeling that UPS is gonna pull up our streams and you may be job. Oh, okay. All right.
Hey, easy.
FedEx may pull up your stream.
I've kind of thought about that. With you getting with the channel getting so big, maybe I need to not do it. But like maybe go out. To
Williams did work too, so it clearly we have a trend here. So
yeah. All right. So this past year, I got kicked out of a game. One of Bubby's games when I was coaching over a targeting call. They said that essentially it was helmet to helmet contact. The running back lowered his helmet and. Bubs was mid tackle and got kicked out. I got kicked out of the game. He got a 15-yard penalty. So, if there's any rule that needs to change, I don't care about the taunting thing. When I was in high school, I wrestled and I threw a kid's headgear across the arena and I got kicked out. So I've done it. It happens. But
we're just full of a bunch of misfits with a bunch of fiery energy. That's why we get along.
Hey, I literally have short temper tattooed on my arm. Okay, so it happens. the targeting deal is absolutely terrible. To yank a guy out of a game because the plays are happening so fast. Like it just happened to my son this past year. He didn't get kicked out of the game, but it happened to Ventrell Miller. I think out of all the rules, that one needs to be looked at.
That is a good point. I feel like that is a bit because is the NFL the same way, or is it 2 times? Right? It's twice they have to get it called on.
Twice, 2 times.
And that I kind of get twice because obviously you want to, but Ventrell only happened once, right?
Yeah, one time. It was one hit and it was clean.
You don't really have targeting in the NFL. They have unsportsmanlike, and you got to get 2 of them to get kicked out of a game.
Yeah. That's what I said. That's a good point.
There's 2 different things in the NFL. There's unsportsmanlike conduct, and then what was the other one that Holly just said? A personal foul. There's 2 different things.
Hitting our defenseless receiver, maybe?
Yep, that's one of them. But that constitutes a personal foul. So
yeah, it's unsportsmanlike conduct. Hey, real quick though, shout out to Jet. He was on the show a while back. Basement Sports. They were, I think, like Basement Football League at the time, and they got banned a few times. They almost had 100,000 followers on TikTok, so that's pretty cool for them. I feel like we've had like a lot of like superstars blowing up. We got freaking our boy Trey from the Faye on American Idol. Now Jet. I love it. Hey, real quick. So Andrew's giving me shit about being a hothead, and then over here he ripped the guy's jersey off. What the fuck, Andrew?
That's completely cool. What are you talking about?
Shelton, did you ever get kicked out of any of our kickball games?
Kickball?
Oh, shit,
Hold
dude.
on. You're talking to a couple of champions here. So I want to say you got fired up a couple of times when Tom Green was getting the other team riled up.
I don't think, did I get kicked out of a game?
I don't remember.
Bro, those were bad, bro. Those are bad. I'm a hothead, dude. I don't take shit. I'll run my mouth to anybody. I usually keep it cool, but like if it starts, I'm gonna finish it. That's kind of what my role is. I won't usually typically start it, but once it gets started, I will not stop. You will hear about it, and then I instigate it. Once it's there, trust, I'm coming.
Because that's when you know you're in their head. Yeah, and I think that's what you were doing. With the
we had the championship game, and the guy, I was pretty chill, but then once they got going, I'm over here clapping. When we got him out, I would catch a ball and I would run over to the sideline and hand it to him. Like I was trying to fire them up at that point. Like I was full blown douche mode was turned on, and I go, you're like they hate us. Yeah, like they're like you're gonna hate me, and I want you to hate me. I can be cool.
I feel
like you guys.
I feel like Shelton could get fired up for cornhole.
Oh no, I was about to say, bro. Anything. I am the most competitive cat. Like a lot of my friends don't like playing games because I don't. You guys see my man. I don't like losing.
Except for foosball, he got pretty used to that.
Yeah, fuck, dude. So Steve and I used to play foosball religiously at work. Like, it got to the point where like. I just learned that he was my daddy at foosball, and I just try to get better. Like that, I can wax anybody in foosball now after playing Steven, but he is the godfather of foosball. Like I'm not just saying that. It is uncomfortable how good he is. He sucks at everything.
Does he allow the soccer?
No spins.
No spins. We play real.
No spins,
I'm just making sure you're doing it properly.
We talk real shit around here. Oh yeah, real shit. He sucks. He's unathletic as hell. He runs like he has a piano on his back. He can't catch a football. He can't throw a football. But you put him on the foosball table, and the guy is, bro. I was like, how are you? I was getting frustrated. I was like, yo, you're fucking cheating. What is going? How are you beating me? I think I beat him probably like out of 100 games twice. And he remembered, and he knows that when I beat him too because I let him know.
You're saying there's a chance?
No, there's not. I think he kind of like. I think he let me get a head start, and then I was able to capitalize on it. But I'm gonna take it.
It got to a point where if we ever went missing for any period of time, like our boss, the door would just randomly open, and it was our boss just standing there watching us. And there's no denying what you're doing.
We were stuck. It got to a point where it wasn't even fun playing anymore because he was just that good. I was like, I'm over it. I'm not getting any better. I don't feel any progress here.
Well, I don't play spades with my wife or Rummy.
You broke up.
She just runs the table. I said I don't play rummy or spades with the wife. She just fucking runs the table.
Well, that's kind of embarrassing if you can't beat your wife in cards, Cody. Like that's not even the same level as me losing.
She cheats.
Oh,
I'm convinced.
I'm sure she'd say different.
Yeah, I think she's just whooping your
Yeah,
ass.
she would.
My wife and I, we play speed. She's pretty good at speed. Well, boys, we're 3 hours in and I'm tired. So
It's the same.
I appreciate you guys.
Can I ask you one more thing about so I know y'all talked about this just for a second earlier about AR, right? And the only thing I have, it's really a statement on the question, but do you truly feel, I truly feel that AR just like the majority of the year last year was just protecting himself before he went to the NFL.
I heard from I go to autograph store a lot and where I get like a lot of the things that we give away. And I spoke with one of the guys, and mind you, these guys talk to a lot of people. They because obviously who comes into the store to sign autographs, so they have a lot of connections. So take this with a grain of salt because this is kind of like a couple layers deep. But he said that after the Mizzou game, Anthony transitioned to I'm preparing for the draft. So, and if you go back and watch, you can kind of feel even the play calling changed a little bit. But I think FSU, I think that game was bought in. But I think the Mizzou game, he's like, hey, I'm here for myself. I'm not here for the team anymore. And I'm not like mad at Anthony for that, but I think it was kind of an agreement on all accounts.
No, I that's what I would say. I just felt like Anthony has the tools to have been better than Tebow, better than Newton. Like his tools are just there. I mean, like the dude is 250 pounds going to run a sub 4.4.
I'm not convinced.
And he probably could bench, put up 225, 50, 50 times. That's a little bit of exaggeration. I'm just saying, like,
he's gonna be a beast,
right?
He's gonna blow the combine out of the water. He's gonna freak the world out.
Everybody had been talking about AR, about he's not gonna be the number 1 overall pick, all this stuff. And then I look at Josh Allen, who I looked at his stats.
You just quote my video. You just quote my video. You just quote my video.
I did what?
You're just quoting my video now. Don't try to take credit.
No.
Show me where Josh Allen's throwing lawn darts. Show me that replay.
Where he's throwing what?
Lawn darts. When the ball hits the ground.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No, but his overall percentage, like his stats for percentage thing, his touchdown to interception ratio.
You watched the video.
Very comparable to.
Yeah, I came out with a video. I came out with a video like a week and a half ago, and I said Anthony's going to go number 1, and I gave all my reasons why, and I compared if you look at his senior season compared to Josh Allen's senior season, they're literally identical. One guy's came from SEC, the other guy came from Wyoming. The other guy also had 3 years at Wyoming as a starter. The other guy came from a dysfunctional situation in the SEC. Josh Allen went number 3. You're trying to tell me AR doesn't go number 1? That was what I was comparing. Basically, you're just quoting my video without crediting your sources.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't want to give you credit. I didn't want to mention anybody else's podcast on here.
You can mention my own.
You can mention our podcast on this podcast. That's completely acceptable here.
Okay, well, and then so I totally agree with you, and I also agree that it's actually I truly believe that AR has, besides the fact that his accuracy is a little off on the shorter passes.
Sure.
Whatever. I think that someone in the NFL, a good QB coach in the NFL, can fix that.
I said that in the video.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No,
I'm
not giving
sorry.
you shit. No, I'm not giving you shit. Like I said the same thing. Like they're gonna look at the accuracy thing and think like, hey, we can coach that. Like that isn't as intimidating as like a Bryce Young, which I keep bringing up. It's 5'9.5". You can't teach height. You can't grow somebody in a factory.
No.
I think I said that earlier in our podcast yesterday, Shelton. So I'm going to need you to give me my credit words too, please.
Which part?
Yeah, well, I said
you can't teach height. That was my thing last night.
I said that.
You also I'm looking at Bryce Young, and I think mentally he's got it, but he's enough. Like I said earlier in the live chat, he's number 2. He's going to get crushed so bad. He's got multiple concussions and everything. He's going to be in the league for a couple years.
That's a good point too with the injury.
That's the point I said about Tua, about him and Tua, comparing Tua to Bryce Young about their size. They're both scored QBs, and they both got they get hit a couple times and then they're out. Versus like Lamar Jackson, he's still running. He's still making hits. He might have some physical injuries, but not nothing with the brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
and that's what I said too about last night on the stream with Justin Fields. Like they're talking about trading Justin Fields away and getting a Bryce Young. I'm like, why would you trade a 6'3", 224-pound Justin Fields who runs the ball very effectively?
Yeah.
Bryce Young has not proven to run the ball very effectively, who can extend plays, who can see over his offensive line, who has the arm strength. That team's just dog water surrounding him. It's not all Justin Fields. It doesn't make any sense. I get Bryce Young won a Heisman and did great this following year, but when you took his talent away this past season, he was a mid quarterback, not a mid. I mean, he was a good quarterback, but was he a first round draft pick quarterback? I was talking today with Austin. He's a big USC fan. If Caleb Williams was in the draft, I think they would see Caleb Williams compared to these other quarterbacks and go, they're not even close to Caleb, and it would drop the other stock. I think Bryce Young and these guys are coming in at a time where the talent around them isn't that stellar, and so they look more mid. They look better because it's a cheerleader effect.
Me personally, I think that C.J. Stroud is maybe the better than Bryce Young in the fact of taking somebody as a franchise quarterback.
I agree.
He's got the size, whatever, and he's got the arm. He's got the accuracy. But if you're looking at building a team in long term, they are a good team to build it. And then Will Levis, to me, Will Levis is more comfortable with Josh Allen. The fact that he's a big dude, he's got the arm on. He can run a little bit, but not. I mean, I don't like Will Levis at all. I think he's hot.
You're covering your mic up, William.
I don't like him as a personality and everything, but
he drinks mayonnaise too, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, that's all that kind of stuff. But so from that standpoint, like I don't like him. But I mean, I think he's gonna. I was watching him go a little bit, the AR stuff came out, some stuff came out a little bit. He's got the arm talent, man. That's for sure. Like he was throwing darts just like Anthony was and everything.
For sure.
I'm not gonna plug this person, but if you want to see some good video on Merck, okay, you got listen.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I can DM you if you want and tell you where to go to.
Just giving you a hard time, dude.
No, I'm not telling the person's site. There are some videos out there on Merck where somebody breaks down every single play from last year, every single pass play from last year. The video is an hour and a half. The video is an hour and a half long. It's
breakdown, right?
What is happening?
Yes.
Look, it's just. Like you said, you weren't going to say it, and then you said it.
Who is
it?
it?
You said it. I didn't say it. You said it.
He's talking about Gators breakdown, the X's and O's guy.
Yeah.
The guy who takes an hour and a half. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. He broke down every single thing on Mertz. It's really good. So if you want to see some good information on Mertz, it's actually good because he breaks down every single pass play that he had for the whole season. Breaks it down.
I'm starting to believe that William is he's hired by Gator Dave.
Yeah.
If they are
it was
to the Colts,
that's not Gator Dave. This guy's not Gator Dave.
Who is it?
It's the film breakdown guy.
Oh yeah, that guy's incredible. I want to get him on the show. I got to reach out to him. I'm like, this guy, he's incredible.
Yeah, he broke down Mertz. He broke down every pass play of every game last year.
Yeah, the guy's a stud. He's got a fresh ass Gator jacket. The guy's welcome on the show anytime.
Oh yeah, that was his last video with Mertz. He's wearing that jacket. The old school.
Yeah, the guy is an absolute stud. He's way too pretty for us. Like we can't even hold a candle to that guy.
He wouldn't adapt to this environment, guys.
That guy's made for TV.
If AR goes to the Colts, expect less of Josh Allen and more RG3. He will be out of the league in 4 years, and he will be toast. Write the receipt. Because the Colts are terrible. They got a crazy owner here in Indianapolis. The offensive line is terrible. Matt Ryan, they had to scrape him up off the turf. It's going to be bad for him. I really pray that the Colts do not draft up and go get him.
Trade up.
He needs like a year to just
trade up.
develop.
I agree. Well, boys,
mentally get ready.
If I don't cut it off, we will continue to go. I am going to bed.
Hey, can I get my thank you for this live idea, this live call-in? That's a good idea.
I told Mike Litteris thank you for his idea the other day.
Hey, really? We're gonna do that?
You were on. I did it. You were on. I thought you were watching when I said it. I said, "Hey, Mike, thanks for the great idea of the live call-in shows."
Hey, this is
I'll say thanks after we do one of the games and we pop off on these. Then I'll say thanks.
Okay. All right. Well, I just want to say thanks for doing it because it gives me a chance to just vent and to share some good ideas and bounce some stuff off you guys. I just love it. Like, I know I'm at work and everything, but I don't get to do it every time you have one. But when I don't have any patience or anything, I can come on here and shoot the breeze with you guys.
No, that's why we do it. We enjoy it. I love getting kind of the idea from everybody.
Y'all going to be at the spring game?
I plan on being there. I'm trying to figure out how I want Florida to let me on the damn football field so I can stream the damn game. Tell them quit being bitches.
Okay. My only thing about that, do you know exactly? I've been going all over. How do you get tickets? Is it just show up and walk in?
I think you just show up.
Yeah.
Just walk in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the game's
it's not like Colorado. Yeah, you just walk in. Yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering.
Yeah,
they got a pretty big baseball game that weekend too, so I think I'm gonna come down for that and then stay the night, and then on Friday night go to the game, the baseball game. So anyway, I'll try to hit you guys up, but if I come down.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you gonna do anything before?
We'll probably do a pregame. Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely do something. We'll try to have some fun and get to meet people and hang out. I mean, it all depends on what Florida allows me to do. Again, I would love to go in the game and stream it and just do whatever the fuck I want. That would be ideal, but
there may be some media rights involved.
You're gonna be at the 50 with Brian.
I want to be on the football field.
Yeah, that's what I meant. On the 50 with him behind everybody.
Yeah, just let me just let me on the field. Like, what the hell, bro? Like, I just want to stay in the end zone and just narrate from the field. Like, how sick would that be? I might just do it anyways and just go from the stands. Like, they can't tell me what to do.
Just jump out of the stands and just go down there.
Exactly.
Someone did that. Was that you that was saying that you did that? Someone did that. They just put on these fake credentials, with media pass credentials, and just jumped down on the field.
On Friday Night Lights, I walked down there and they got kicked out by Rick Hurtado.
Yeah, that's right. I remember one of you guys. I don't know if it was you or somebody else, but yeah, I think it was you that said to say that. But you were went down. You actually down the field for a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't fake anything. I just walked down there. And then they're like,
you didn't have a badge or nothing on it. You just
walk down there. The number one rule: just act like you belong, boys. I was walking around the locker room.
Oh, that's what I was watching this TikTok about this guy at LSU. He did it during the LSU game. He went in there during the halftime and everything.
Just act like you belong.
He said all you gotta do is act like you belong. He said he acted like he was a recruit. Is what it was. It was during one of the recruits. Like, he just went in with all the recruits and just walked in, didn't have a badge or nothing. Just
they know my pudgy ass ain't a recruit. What's this guy doing in here? But I walk around the camera. Oh, it's media guy. Like, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
All right,
boys. I appreciate you guys. It's a good talk. It's good listening to you guys, and your show's good. I think your show does so well, and you've increased by so many because you actually give people an opportunity to do this. Like, I think you'd be the more you allow yourself an opportunity to glean and to hear back from fans and people watching you and stuff like that. Because I do this because I don't have time to do a podcast and do all the different things. I just don't have time with my job. So this gives me an avenue to be able to get on here and support other people that are doing their thing. So I'll keep up the good work.
Absolutely, Bowie. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the call.
Hey, how about win a couple games on Monday night?
Ooh.
I mean, what's up, bro?
Wow.
Like,
just
hour and a half in, that's how we're gonna leave.
That's how we're gonna wrap things up. Huh?
I don't play the game. My son does. I've been trying to get my son on here and watching you play or whatever, and so get on here and become part of the subscribers and everything, and start playing you.
I won Monday. I won twice Monday.
You did, but you also lost. Didn't you lose twice on Monday too?
I lost once and won twice.
Okay.
It was positive.
All right. I only watched
And I beat both Stokes the week prior.
I did watch that. They were pretty hot. They were hot garbage though.
Yeah, I clapped them.
I love them. I love them guys. I love when he comes on. He gives a lot of insight. I love Marcus too, man.
They're so good.
I still wish he was still part of the team, man. I feel so bad for that guy.
It is.
I'd be praying for him and his dad all the time.
I'm sure they'll love hearing that. I appreciate it, Bubba.
Everything works out for them. So, all right, guys. See y'all later.
Later, boys.
All right.